Welcome to Fox Saturday Baseball and welcome to SunTrust Park on a very warm day. A huge crowd making their way into the ballpark. It's game 2 of a 3-game series between the Washington Nationals and the Atlanta Braves. Let's check out the NL East standings heading into today's action. The Atlanta Braves have a 7.5 game lead over the Philadelphia Phillies and now a 9.5 game lead over the Nationals by virtue of a victory here last night for Atlanta. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo along with AJ Pierzynski as JP Morosi will join us in a bit. Well, today we're getting a look at 2 of the candidates for Rookie of the Year. They're both getting starts in left field.
Well, Rookie of the Year, they're going to finish 1-2 in Rookie of the Year, and some of them might get MVP votes, and that's Acuna Jr. for the Braves and Soto for the Washington Nationals. These guys put on a show last night in the first game of the series. These guys lead in virtually every category for NL rookies. They're going to finish 1-2. They're the most exciting 2 youngsters in baseball. One's 20, Acuna, one's 19, and Soto. These guys are unbelievable. Baseball has become a game of young players and young kids, and these 2 are leading the charge, and they are the best players probably on their team right now.
Yeah, today on the mound for the Atlanta Braves will be Julio Teheran. He's had a very good year. There are a few of the Nationals who handle him well, namely Bryce Harper.
Yeah, the old man, right? 25 years old, Bryce Harper. Heard he has an MVP, been to the playoffs. He's done everything you could possibly do. But this guy absolutely owns Julio Teheran. If I'm Julio Teheran, I want no part of him. 8 home runs, 19 RBIs, and 40 at-bats. That's a home run a game against a starting pitcher. That's complete ownage, and Bryce Harper has it on Julio Teheran.
It is a warm day today in Atlanta. Nationals and Braves from Hotlanta next on Fox Saturday Baseball. First pitch coming your way after this. Between the Nats and the Braves, and it is a warm one in Atlanta. 88 degrees the temperature. Feels like 93. I'm going to tell you, it feels like closer to 100, to be honest with you.
Well, that's why they call it Hotlanta. Yeah. Not because of anything else, because of the weather here. And Max Scherzer proved it with this video right here.
Ridiculous. I mean, I've never seen this before where a guy had to change his hat in the middle of an inning.
I've seen guys change jerseys in between innings after they're wet and they'll change their pants, but I've never seen a guy have to go in between batters and change his hat. It was a big point in the game last night also.
Now, Dave Martinez telling us before the game was somewhere in the neighborhood of 2 to 2.5 pounds on his head, so he had to get it off.
Well, that gives you a sore neck. Normally pitchers will get it from watching homers. Scherzer doesn't give up those, but 2.5 pound hat will wear you down.
It was a battle for him last night. He took the loss as the Atlanta Braves take the field today. As we play day baseball, we check out the visiting Washington Nationals starting nine. Adam Eaton in the top of the order in right field. Trey Turner is at shortstop with Bryce Harper in center field. It is Anthony Rendon at third base. Juan Soto in left field, who he highlighted off the top, with Mark Reynolds at first base batting out of the sixth spot. Wilmer Defoe is at second base with Spencer Keyboom doing the catching. He'll bat eighth, and Jeremy Hellickson returning from the DL, activated today, and they're looking for somewhere between 80 and 85 pitches today from Hellickson. Now the Nationals lineup will have to deal with the starter today for Atlanta, Julio Teheran, who has been terrific this year and today makes his 29th start of the year. Comes in at 9-7 with a nifty 3.95 earned run average. But the number that jumps out at you is the opponent average, only hitting at 198. That is second in the National League in that category.
We'll get into Julio's season as it goes, but the thing about him is people don't hit him, especially right-handed hitters. They don't hit Julio at all, but walks have hurt him and the long ball has hurt him. And ever since they moved into SunTrust Park, home runs have been a problem for him, especially at home. But he was the ace of their staff just 2-3 years ago, and he's kind of taken a step back. His velo's come down, but he's learning how to pitch, and the numbers aren't terrible.
Now looking for his 10th win of the year today. It is time for the Ford Keys to the game.
For the Nationals, give me 5 out of Jeremy Hellickson. They need 5 innings. Bullpen's healthy. Bullpen's ready to go. If they have a lead after 5 innings and 90 pitches from Hellickson, they'll be ecstatic. And for the Braves, keep it clean for Harper, which means when Julio Teheran, we talked about in the open, when he faces Bryce Harper kills him. So he wants nobody on and preferably 2 outs. So if he has to pitch around him, he can do that.
Now let's check out the Braves defensively. Left to right across the outfield, it is Acuna Jr., Ender Enciarte, and Nick Markakis from left to right. Third to first, Charlie Culberson at third base with Dansby Swanson at short. Ozzie Albies at second base with Freddie Freeman at first. Kurt Suzuki, the veteran catcher, catches Julio Teheran today.
One of the things about the Braves, people talk about how do they turn it around. It's their defense. Their defense has improved drastically in the last couple of years, especially their outfield defense with Acuna, Enciarte, who might be the best center fielder in baseball, and Markakis, Gold Glover and right.
Adam Eaton stands in to lead it off, and he'll take strike one. We're underway. Eaton, who has spent a lot of his major league career in center field, has settled into right field, and that's where Dave Martinez likes him.
He just doesn't think, I don't think he thinks he has the range anymore to play center. Because of the injuries he's battled the last few years, he's lost it. And also, Dave Martinez, he really likes Bryce Harper in center field. And lefty in right field usually works better for you because they can cover the line and throw. But I'm surprised by that move, but Dave Martinez likes it.
They still have high hopes for Michael Taylor, who Dave Martinez said before the game he thinks he's the best defensive center fielder he's ever seen.
That's saying something. Dave Martinez had some good ones. He had Kiermaier down in Tampa, who's amazing. He gets to watch Enciarte play a whole season. I mean, those are 2 pretty good center fielders to compare someone to.
Well, Dave really been tested in his first season as the Nationals manager, mostly by the number of injuries. It's a swing and a miss, and Eaton strikes out to start the day. Good start for Teheran.
Good pitch by Julio. Looks like a slider that almost backs up, maybe a changeup. Tough to tell, Don. I can't see our monitor great because the sun is in our eyes. I'm trying to look at it from the field. It's hard to tell the grips, and then you see the grip on TV, but the monitor is tough right now.
One down for Trey Turner. That's out of the 2 spot for the Nationals. He's got power, can run. He's got 17 home runs on the year and 162 hits. That's good for 8th in the National League heading into this afternoon's contest. That'll straighten him up.
Well, Turner's, for me, this guy is the guy that is having the least good year for the Nationals. This is a guy I think they counted on hitting 300. He's got 17 home runs, 63 RBIs. He's got a bunch of stolen bases, but I think they still need more. I think they still think that there's more inside of Trey Turner, and he's had a good year, but not a great year. And in front of Bryce Harper, man, you should have a great year because you're going to get stuff to hit.
Yeah, you're pretty well protected in this order. You get Harper and then Rendon to follow. And having Harper bat behind you and wait on deck. That'll drop in there for a strike.
I guess the best place you could hit in baseball forever was in front of Barry Bonds, because you knew you were getting some to hit. And now Harper's, I guess, as close as you could say to Barry Bonds. Not comparing the two, but as close as you can get.
Evens up at 2-2 as Tehran battles back. Only 6.33 hits per 9 innings allowed by Tehran. Been impressive as well. This is sharply hit by the dive of Albies at second base into center. It's a base hit for Turner with one down here in the first inning.
Good adjustment by Trey Turner. Hit the ball up the middle, gets it by Albies. The first hit Julio Tehran's given up to a right-handed hitter in 23 at bat. So you don't see righties do a lot of damage off Julio, but Turner made the adjustment, lined it up the middle.
1 out, 1 on in front of Bryce Harper coming up for the first time today. The average just a 247 to start the day for Harper, but the power numbers are good at 33 homers, 95 runs batted in. We talked about it off the top, the dominance by Harper against Tehran, and both are well aware of their past.
As a pitcher, you know guys who kill you, and as a hitter, you know guys that you just absolutely own. And as a catcher, you're like, oh no, there's a guy on first. I can't really pitch around him. Rendon's pretty good. What do? I try not to give him anything good to hit, but I also don't want to walk him. So you're kind of in a pickle here because of the base hit by Trey Turner.
Throw over and kind of late to react was Turner, but he crosses over to get back to the bag.
Well, Julio has a great move for a right-handed pitcher. He probably has the best right-handed pickoff move, and he holds the ball extremely well. He's semi-tough to run on. When he goes high leg kick, you can get a jump, but if he goes quick and he keeps Turner close, Turner's going to have a hard time running. But I don't see Turner running here because he wants the guy at the plate to get a chance to swing.
Harper does swing for strike one. How different is the Julio Tehran that you caught when you were here with the Braves than he is today?
His velocity's down. That's the biggest thing. He's kind of learning how to pitch with it. When I had him here in 15, 16, he was 94, 95. He could run it up there pretty good. His velocity's down a couple clicks, but he's using his slider more. He's using his changeup more, which have always been plus pitches for him. But he had the ability, 2-3 years ago to go out and be like, I can throw it by you at any point. But now he knows he has to pitch. And he's done a good job. Last year was a struggle for him in the new park, giving up homers. But this year, as the season has gone, he's made the adjustment.
Evens up at 1-1 here to Bryce Harper with one down and Trey Turner at first.
You laughed about Bryce Harper's numbers, 247, but heck, from where he was at the All-Star break in the 210s, 247 looks pretty darn good. He's still got 30, 33, and almost 100. So, heck, I'd take that 250, 35, and 100 at the end of the year. I would have run to the bank with that.
And of course, last year of his contract here, free agency around the corner. Want to talk about whether or not he would come back to the Nationals. Runner goes at first, pitches outside, throw down is not going to be a time, or is it? No, maybe came off the bag perhaps. See if they challenge this. He looks safe as Trey Turner gets into second base, but perhaps he came off the bag. Looks like Swanson may have kept the tag on him.
Well, this is the new baseball. You slide, you got to stay engaged with the base, and does he pop off right there? I don't know. Don, what do you think? Looks like he stays engaged for me the whole time. Tags on there. Looks like his cleat might drag on it.
Tough to tell the glove was on him when he did come up. And they have not decided yet whether or not they're going to challenge, and they are.
This is the rub for a team. It's the first inning. You have a guy, potentially a guy in scoring position, and it's a 50-50 probably call whether he's safe or out. Do you waste your challenge? No, because then you're done for the game. And what happens if in the fourth inning there's a play at the plate that costs you a run?
I'm not sure there's enough to overturn the call.
It's always about what call they make on the field.
Call on the field is out. Trey Turner caught stealing. Getting a look here. Question is, when he comes up after getting in safely, whether that tag is on him when that foot lifts, or does he even completely come off the bag?
Was there sunlight between his front spike and the bag?
That's the question.
This is the angle. Watch and see if there's any daylight between his front spike right there and the bag.
Crowd seeing it on the big board here.
Well, of course, the crowd,
they love it.
Braves, they want him out.
Exactly. I'm not sure you see much more on the big board either. See if we freeze it, what happens.
I mean,
is there?
It looks like the spike is still touching the base, but is that enough?
I would say not.
As a catcher, I'm like, he's out. Call him out, please, because it helps your throwing percentage, and plus it clears the bases for Bryce Harper. But as a baseball fan, this isn't the intention of the rule. Trey Turner was clearly safe, clearly stole the base, and now basically on a technicality, they're probably going to call him out.
And indeed, he remains out. And there you go. The Nationals have lost their challenge here in the first inning. The chance you take, as you mentioned, is it worth it? Well, caught stealing here, 2-6.
I don't know if that's a good play with Harper up to bat. First inning, I always hate in the first inning to give a team. Granted, he made it clearly, he was safe clearly, other than him coming off the base. But I hate giving pitchers, and especially pitchers like Julio that have struggled in the first inning, an easy out, a free out.
So 2 down now in the first inning, and Harper will take ball 3. Well, you're talking about the first inning. How about an ERA over 7 in the first?
That's usually not a good way, but a lot of good pitchers have a hard time in the first inning. Comfort, ease, nerves, whatever it is, guys struggle in the first inning. Really good pitchers. Tom Glavine, who was here forever, really had a hard time in the first inning. It's just the way it is in baseball. The first inning is a lot of jitters. You waited 5 days to pitch.
Loses Harper, kind of pitched around him, and down to first. He'll go 2 down. First free pass served up by Tehran.
Not kind of. He totally pitched around him, especially after Turner was eliminated on the bases. He wanted no part of Bryce Harper. He knows the numbers. He'd rather have him at first with 2 outs and take his chances with Rendon.
So 2 down, runner at first, and here is Anthony Rendon. Average just under 305 and 304 coming in. 3 homers and 11 runs batted in. 23 game on base streak during that time. Overall 19 homers on the year and 71 runs batted in. As he will pop it up, back and out of play. Kurt Suzuki looked up, couldn't find it, but it was back in behind the screen anyway.
Well, the sun's tough here.
A lot of glare.
A lot of glare, even in the booth.
SunTrust Park and all.
They should have called it Sun in Your Face Park, because it is all in our face right now, and the player's face.
That's where we are up top there. One of the higher locations across Major League Baseball, along Pittsburgh and Washington, as far as booths go. Not that it's about us. Someone fouled back to the screen.
Well, Washington is by far the highest. I think I got a nosebleed. I did a game there last year. I had elevation sickness. I was so high up in the booth.
It's like the 11th floor or something, but we're up here.
You can't see it, but there is a glare right here, and so our monitors are here, and the glare just eliminates the monitor.
Yep, it's not a factor, monitor. It's not part of my game right now. I'm eliminating it. Bounce in, and Suzuki sliding to his right to block that. Suzuki catching the day game after the night game. 2 teams played a 4-hour contest last night. The Braves took game 1 of the series. It's been a crazy week for the Nationals, trying to play some home games and makeup games and weather and everything else. The weather is not an issue here today.
Well, it is if you're Max Scherzer and your hat's going to weigh 2.5 pounds because of sweat. But other than that, no, it's a beautiful day here in Atlanta.
Ahead of Rendon here, 1-2 with Harper at first, 2 down in the first. That'll grab your attention, a little bit elevated. Fastball at 90 from Julio Tehran.
And we talked the difference in Julio from now and 2 or 3 years ago. That used to be 94, 95. But there was an old saying, Jamie Moyer used to say it, the slower you throw, the more you have to pitch in. I think Julio's also made that adjustment, especially to righties. He's sinking it in on him off the plate more to get swings and easy outs.
To right field, and that'll get in for a base hit. Harper will take second base. Rendon takes it the other way, and the Nationals have something going here with 2 down in the first inning. So 2 on, 2 down, and it brings up Soto. Juan Soto with 20 home runs at 19 years of age.
Where were you at 19?
Just coming out of college. I was in, no, I was still in college. Where were you at 19?
I was in the Midwest League in Fort Wayne, Indiana, trying to figure out how to survive on $1,000 a month and $7 a day meal money.
I was not playing in the big leagues with 20 home runs and a .303 average.
No, that was the farthest thing from my mind.
We're still 2 years removed from, or 2 years before, spending a season in the New York Penn League in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. The Pittsfield Mets.
I missed that. I missed it. I skipped that league. I was in the Appalachian League instead. So
good thing you did. 2 on with 2 down. And that'll grab the outside corner.
2 really good pitches by Julio. 2 breaking balls, 1 in, 1 backdoor. Guys in scoring position, just perfect pitch. Good job by Suzuki to frame it nicely. You're 0-2 and you tip your cap to the pitcher because neither one of those pitches you could do anything with.
That'll skip in and Suzuki able to block it. No advance for the base runners. Kicked it a little bit up the third base line. 23 first pitch inning here so far for Tehran, and he's not out of it yet. 2 down. He walked Harper, gave up a base hit to Rendon. To right center field, and that's going to get in for a hit. Coming around from second base is Harper. The Nationals will strike first, as taking third on the single by Soto is Rendon, and the Nationals lead it 1-0 here in the first inning. 2-out RBI single for Juan Soto.
Struggles continue for Julio Tehran in the first inning. And how big was that caught stealing? But here's the pitch by pitch to Soto. Watch these first 2 pitches. Good slider, he's taking it. First pitch breaking ball, and then a better pitch, backdoor slider. Now he tries to get him to swing back foot. Nice stop by Suzuki. Another slider. He threw 4 sliders in a row to Juan Soto at 19 years old. Dave Martinez said it before the game. This guy studies the game. He knows what pitchers are trying to do to him. And you throw a guy 4 sliders in a row, the 4th one better be better than the first one, especially a guy like Soto.
First and third with 2 down, and Mark Reynolds will take strike 1. Reynolds did not have a job late into the beginning of the season. I was going to say late into spring training, but it got into the year, and it was thought for a while that he could go back to the Colorado Rockies. Didn't work out that way. Runner goes, pitch in for a strike, and a head first stolen base slide out there for Soto into scoring position.
No throw by the Braves, 2 outs. They're concentrating on the hitter, but as a catcher, oh, that drives you crazy. Because you know you're not throwing. It's a free base, and at the end of the year you go into your talking to your agent and you're like, oh, you only threw out 12% of the runners, and how many of them are first and third where you know you're not throwing? That's a team decision, not a catcher's decision.
.02 coming to Reynolds. Pops it up, foul ground. Suzuki discards the mask. He's got a play, and he makes it to end the first inning. Nationals grab a run in the first. The Braves are coming up on a hot day from Atlanta. In left field with Ozzie Albies at second base. Freddie Freeman at first. Nick Markakis in right field had a very good year. Kurt Suzuki does the catching with Ender Inciarte in center field. Charlie Culberson at third base, very versatile. Dansby Swanson at shortstop, bats 8. And Julio Teheran, the pitcher, out of the 9 spot for Atlanta. On the hill, returning from a wrist injury, is Jeremy Hellickson. Hoping for 80-85 pitches today from him as he makes his 19th start of the year, coming in at 5-3. Opponent sitting at 231, and again, it's his first start since August the 15th. Here he is today to take on this good National League East leading Atlanta Braves lineup. And it starts with Acuna Jr. right off the top. They shift on him also right out of the gate here on the left side of the infield.
Man, how baseball's changed. Used to have 4 guys in 4 positions. Now the standard positions. Now every team, everybody does it. 3 guys on one side of the infield.
Not only has he had a rookie of the year caliber type season, but he's been hot lately. Last 15 games, hitting at .356 with 11 extra base hits. He's also walking 13 walks during that time. So a selective, patient, young hitter. He takes ball 1, 1-2.
Well, that's the thing, as a young hitter, you come up. Guys, if they get off to a great start, Acuna obviously got off to a great start, and pitchers are like, okay, we're going to see if he can hit the fastball. Check, they check that off. As soon as he's proved that, then they're like, okay, we're going to see if you can hit breaking balls. So what do they start doing? Breaking ball, breaking ball, breaking ball. And he was swinging at a lot of them, and he was swinging at fastballs out of the zone. He's made adjustments, and now he's walking, like you said.
Brian Snitker talking about those adjustments. He's used to that for rookies, but he's made a series of adjustments as the league has adjusted to him. Doesn't take long to get a book on a guy.
One time through. You see a pitcher one time, you do damage against them, guess what? Next time you play them, they're going to try something different on you. And baseball is a constant adjustment. Even if you have 10 years in the big leagues, they change, but especially when you're young.
Fights this off. The shift was in play. Defoe will get to it, but not before Acuna reaches. Shift very much worked against the Nationals there.
Shift beater by Ronald Acuna Jr. Just a shift beater. Gets jammed, gets completely blown up by this pitch by Hellickson. Perfect placement. And if you're Jeremy Hellickson, you're looking up going, that's a ground ball to the second baseman. The second baseman has stand there for 150 years, but in new age baseball, that's a knock.
So Acuna reaches to start the day for the Braves and brings up Ozzie Albies. They shift on him, but to pull on the right side as they move Trey Turner from shortstop to the right side of the infield. And quick check, and pretty close. Mark Reynolds thought they might have had him.
Well, Mark, even if you did have him, you can't check because you already lost your replay in the first inning. He was safe. He squeaked his pinky finger in there.
Yeah, the Nationals challenging an out call at second base on a stolen base bid, and that challenge is gone. They lose it in the first inning. Hellickson, a very slow worker, has been for a long time since he broke in with the Tampa Bay Rays. At the time his bench coach in Tampa Bay is now his manager. And Dave Martinez with the Washington Nationals now.
They don't call it slow, they call it deliberate.
Deliberate. About 30 deliberate seconds in between pitches. To right, and Eaton back there with the room, shy of the track, makes the catch out there right on the edge of the track for the first out. So Albies retired. Acuna back to first, and that'll bring up Freddie Freeman. Well, here's a guy that is in the middle of the order every day. But as Brian Snitker told us, he doesn't really feel like he's got the weight of the team on him. There are other guys in this lineup now producing.
Well, that's the difference for Freddie. When I played here 2 years, 15 and 16, if Freddie got a hit, we were good. If Freddie didn't get a hit, we weren't very good. So now with other guys, Acuna, Albies, even some underrated guys like Camargo and Swanson, there's other guys that can carry the lineup, not just Freddie Freeman.
306 average for Freeman coming in. 21 home runs, 86 RBIs for the Braves first baseman. Freddie Freeman and Ben Zobrist, the only two major league qualifiers who have not had a hitless streak more than 10 at bats all year.
That's impossible.
It's incredible.
It really, that stat amazes me when I saw that earlier today, because 10 hits, that's like 2.5 games. 10 at bats, 2.5 games, you don't get a hit. It's tough. That's really hard to do. Every hitter runs into a weekend where you just don't feel right, or you're sick maybe, or something's going on at home that nobody knows about. You just have a tough weekend. You run into some good pitching. But to go 10 at bat, never go more than 10 at bats without a hit, I mean, that's the definition of being consistent and a really good hitter.
Hellickson has fallen behind here, 2-0. This one sprayed foul off to the left, out of play. So far, the Braves have not been very aggressive with Hellickson. Been pretty patient here in the early going.
Well, that's because Keyboom behind the plate, he can throw. He's known for his defense. He's hit a couple homers here recently for the Nationals, but this guy's known for his throwing and for his defense, and Dave Martinez loves him behind the plate. Plus, you have Freddie Freeman up. You want to keep that hole open, and if he runs into one, you want it to count as 2.
This will get away up the right field line. Acuna Jr. is going to round second. He's thinking 3, and he will get to third base without a problem. 2 bases on the throwing miscue to first base.
Hellickson, a good quick pickoff move. Former Gold Glover. Just a little bit off target. Probably a ball. Well, no, a little bit too far out of his reach for Reynolds. And watch Wilmer Difo right here. I think he assumes that Acuna's just going to stop at second, but kind of took a little funky hop on him, but Acuna makes it easily third base, and now the Braves are in business to tie the game.
Fair amount of foul ground here as the infield comes in now for the Nats. Lead off third for Acuna, and that's ball 3. Hellickson charged with the throwing error. Hellickson's first error since 2015. September 14th of 15, his last error. Freeman with a foul tip, and it's a full count.
So what do you do as a pitcher right here? Freddie Freeman's up, Markakis on deck, who's having a tremendous year. The RBI guy, kind of leader for the Braves. Do you challenge Freddie Freeman? Do you trick him? As a catcher, that's always the question. What do I do? Do I go after this guy, or do I try to fool him?
Lines it foul above the Braves dugout.
And they tried to trick him right there. Off speed pitch, 3-2. Freddie does a nice job of getting a piece of it to stay alive. So again, you showed him your hand. Now do you try to challenge him inside, Don? Or do you let him?
Depends what I got.
Well, you've only thrown a few pitches, so I'm not sure you know what you got yet. Try and sneak a fastball away, I think.
Going away and fouling it away. Great plate coverage for Freddie Freeman.
Emergency hack. Freddie Free. One of the best I've ever seen, I've ever played with, that with 2 strikes, having the funky swing. We call it the funky Freddie swing. You're just putting the barrel on the ball and hitting the ball to left field and getting hits. He has an innate ability to just get hits to left field with 2 strikes.
To center, right at Bryce Harper, will make the catch, tagging at third as Acuna. Throw playward will be late, and the Braves have tied the score at 1. Sac fly for Freddie Freeman. Good at bat for Freeman to tie this game. It's an 8-pitch at bat before getting that sac fly.
Great at bat by Freddie Freeman. Leaks back over the plate, does exactly what he's supposed to. Gets a ball up enough to center field and Bryce Harper, but Bryce Harper misreads this ball a little bit. He thinks it's going to be in, but he doesn't get behind it, so he can get all of his momentum going towards home for a strong throw. It's a good throw, but not a great throw because he doesn't get fully behind it. He gets a little bit underneath because his body momentum is not going towards home.
2 down for Nick Markakis. You mentioned his season, and last year of his contract. Sends one down the left field line. Soto will move over and make the catch. That ends the first inning. But a sac fly for Freddie Freeman's tied this game at 1. Chevy has earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards across cars, trucks, and SUVs. Back in Atlanta, year 2 of SunTrust Park. Beautiful venue here for the Braves, who called Turner home field for the better part of 20 years and have moved over here. So far, all the accolades for this ballpark, it's been very well received. How do you like it?
Kind of bucked the trend of building ballparks downtown. They kind of went outside of the box and brought it up here to a little bit north of the city and have done a great job of filling things in around it. If you walk around this area, there's restaurants and bars and people that are at them, and they're not even at the game. So just an amazing job the Braves did.
Wilmer Difo quickly down 0-2 to begin things here in the second inning. Yeah, a lot of cool parts of this park. And you're right, this place has exploded with restaurants, bars, hotels. There are a few of them down here now, and businesses in the area. There was nothing here before, and they started to build this ballpark, and now it's a whole community.
It is. It's its own little city, town. That hotel, the Omni right there, you see the balconies. I tried to request that we could do the game out there. We could sit up on one of those sofas on the balcony, but unfortunately, Aaron Stoikov, our producer, denied us that request.
It was a no-go, huh?
Figure we could sit out there with some binoculars and maybe a lemonade and do the game. Put on some swim trunks and enjoy.
Fouled off by Difo, bottom third of the order for the Nationals here in the second inning. Difo, Kieboom, and Hellickson. Julio Teherano had to throw 27 first inning pitches and allowed just the 1 run, but Nationals left runners at second and third when Mark Reynolds fouled out to end the inning.
Nationals are having at bats. He's not able to put them away. He gets ahead of everybody. 2 strikes, 2 strikes, 1-2, 0-2, 0-2, and Nationals battle until he makes a mistake, and they've just been taking their singles.
Swing and a miss, and that's strikeout number 2 for Teheran. 1 down here in the second inning.
The old back foot slider, 3-2 to a lefty. Defoe's expecting a heater, leading off the inning. Gets the back foot slider, swings over the top of it. That's a veteran pitcher, Julio Teheran, kind of taking over and abusing Wilmer Defoe, a younger hitter in a big situation, a little over aggressive, wants to do something well, and Julio just kind of took advantage of it.
Well, he struck out Eden in the first to start that inning. He strikes out Defoe here in the second. Here is Spencer Kieboom. Mentioned today, Teheran is going after win number 10 of the year individually. Comes in at 9-7. Working from the extreme first base side of the rubber. And ahead 0-2.
First base side, all to create that angle, especially to a right-handed hitter. Makes it easier to get the ball away. And we're only 2 innings in here, and Suzuki, poor Kurt Suzuki behind the plate is taking a beating in 2 innings. A lot of balls in the dirt, a lot of sliders in the dirt, and he's kept them all in front of him. Had to catch a pop-up, which is the absolute worst as a catcher. You're standing there thinking the ball's never going to come down.
On the ground to third, where Charlie Culberson gathers, throws across a diamond for the second out. Let's go to Mike Hill in the studio for a game break. All right, thanks very much, Mike. Back here, 2 down in the second inning, and a look at the NL West, which is bunched up. Of course, the Dodgers winning it last year and getting to the World Series. Half game back. Going to be very interesting in this last, 2 weeks to decide who's going to go. And unlike last year, it appears that not 3 teams from the NL West to be going.
Well, I have to defer to you on this, being you're the San Diego and you see all the NL West. Who do you like?
I've always liked the Dodgers from the beginning.
Now, is that just because they're the Dodgers?
No, I just like the depth of their team, but it's a little different now with Kenley Jansen going through the heart situation. He couldn't even go to the Rockies series and has not really been the same. That's strike 3, and it's a good 1-2-3 inning for Teheran. A good bounce back inning. This game is tied at 1.
Sit down.
need support. Help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to these families. Donate today by going to redcross.org or text Florence to 90999 to give a $10 to American Red Cross Hurricane Relief. Well, with more on the hurricane story, let's check in with JP Morosi.
Thank you, Don. Of course, the Braves are beloved throughout the Southeast, and they are stepping forward to help out their communities in the Carolinas and here in Georgia this weekend. In fact, Don, any resident of North Carolina, South Carolina, or the zip codes in Georgia affected by the coastal evacuation notices, they can come here to SunTrust Park and receive complimentary tickets for any game this weekend. Don, already 5,600 tickets distributed, and also the proceeds from the 50-50 raffles this weekend, all going to hurricane relief through the Red Cross as well.
All right, JP, thanks very much. To play here on to the second inning, and it's Kurt Suzuki who leads it off for Atlanta.
Tremendous by the Braves. A lot of people affected by it. I've lived through many hurricanes growing up in Florida, Don. I'm not sure about you, but people are always like, hurricanes are so bad. But the thing is, you can plan for a hurricane. There's going to be damage, you understand that, but you can plan, you can evacuate, you can save things. But for the Braves to do that and get people here and give them something else to think about, just a great job.
And the Braves' range so large. I don't think people really realize that, as this one is popped up, foul ground. Mark Reynolds by the dugout won't have a play.
They were America's team there for a while.
Yes, they were.
Kind of like the Cowboys claimed to be America's team. The Braves were.
Absolutely.
Growing up in Florida, I was a Braves fan. Dale Murphy was kind of my guy growing up, and they were on TBS, and then they were so bad for so long, and then Smoltz, Glavine, Maddox, the era where they won all the titles in a row. It was a good time to be a Braves fan then.
Part of the Superstation.
It was super too.
There's so much rich tradition here now. And Suzuki carves it foul off to the right out of play. That's out of the 5 spot for the Braves in this 1-1 game in the second inning. And interesting to keep an eye on Hellickson again. Has not pitched since August the 15th. Fell, hurt his wrist on the DL until today. They shift here on Suzuki on the left side of the infield to the Nationals.
This shift surprises me because Kurt Suzuki is one of the best guys I've ever played against or ever seen, especially with 2 strikes. Just taking the ball to right and just punching the ball to right for a single or a base hit. The Nationals obviously have way more information, way more scouting than I do, but I'd almost think with 2 strikes against him, I'd play him the other way.
Suzuki has had a very good major league career as a catcher. Of all the games he has caught over the years. Been very durable over the years as well. Right center field on the move is Harper, still going, and Harper's going to not get it. By his outstretched glove, backed up by Eaton. It's a single for Suzuki that starts the bottom of the second inning for Atlanta. And Harper kind of grabbing the wrist area here on that diving bid. He may have hurt himself.
Dangerous play for an outfielder. Diving, they get extended. The glove sometimes gets bent behind them when they dive or bent down, and kind of what happens to Bryce Harper right here. Great effort. Just his glove rolls up on him right there and can pop a wrist. And see him stretching it and moving it around, but he's okay. But thank you, Kurt Suzuki, for making me look good and hitting the ball to right center as the Nationals had everyone swung over to left field. The perfect placement.
Like he was using the glove hand to brace himself from the dive, but it rolled up on him.
Nationals' story has kind of been injuries this year, and the one guy with 2 weeks to go, they definitely don't want to lose, even though not a good chance of him catching the Braves and making the playoffs, but they still don't want to lose Bryce Harper at any time, especially with 2 weeks to go in the season.
Got to be honest, coming into this year, really felt like the Nationals were going to run away with this division. Did not see the Braves coming, and certainly did not see the injuries that the Nationals have had to go through, but sort of a disappointing season for Washington.
Well, out of all the teams in the NL East, the Phillies are probably playing better than they expected. 500 was kind of expected of them. The Braves are way ahead of where people thought they would be, including Brian Snitker. If you ask him honestly, he'll admit it. But the Nationals have to kick themselves every day, wondering how in the heck are we not winning this division?
I asked Brian Snitker about that before the game. I said, when did you realize that you had a good team here? And he said, well, it wasn't spring training, because we didn't think we had a very good offensive club and weren't really sure. Get into the season, get into April and May, and then June, all of a sudden you're looking at first place. You realize you got a good team and all these guys are stepping up.
Well, Ronald Acuna hasn't hurt him.
No.
With his candidacy, not only for Rookie of the Year, but I'm sure he'll get some MVP votes. Albies has had a great year, especially the first half, got off to a great start. Freeman and Markakis have been great. Suzuki, the combination of Suzuki and Tyler Flowers has been good behind the plate. So they got a lot of really good pieces. But back to the Nationals, they have, if you go man for man, they probably have the best roster by far in the NL East. And for some reason, it just didn't work. The pieces seem better than the whole.
To me, the pitching was going to be the most dominant part of it. And that just has not worked out. And from an injury standpoint, it's been a real problem. They trade away Gio Gonzalez. I mean, it's definitely a different team. Scherzer really struggling last night through the weather conditions and the heat.
Scherzer's been fine.
He's not been the problem.
Scherzer's been far from the problem, but Hellickson hurt, Strasburg hurt. Tanner Roark not having the year that they kind of expected.
Shallow left, and Soto coming in. Out is Turner. Look out, it'll be Turner making the catch, backpedaling for out number 1. Well, we have talked about some of the Nationals issues. Guys that have moved to other places now. We're talking about Matt Adams, who started the year very well with the Nationals. I mentioned Gio Gonzalez, Sean Kelly going to Oakland, Brandon Kinsler now a member of the Cubs, Ryan Madsen part of the Dodgers pen, and Daniel Murphy with the Cubs also. So some big pieces that were here are not any longer.
Well, Murphy missed the first bunch of time because of a knee. Didn't get back up to speed. Probably just now getting back up to speed because of his knee. Matt Adams has had a great year for both teams. Sean Kelly's my favorite after that time he threw his glove after he gave up the home run. That's one of my all-time favorite highlights of anybody. But Kinsler was a guy they brought in last year to help solidify the bullpen. Just an odd year for the Nationals. And if Mike Rizzo, if he had any hair, he'd probably be pulling it out about June, but he had already lost it, so the GM. And you go into the season thinking, man, we have this team, we have the opportunity to really compete and go to the playoffs again, bring in Dave Martinez, all his energy, all his things that he does from Joe Madden. It just hasn't worked.
Well, JP, it has been a frustrating year for Dave Martinez in his first year.
It has been, Don, and certainly the biggest decision looms ahead with number 34, Bryce Harper, a free agent after the season is over. No matter what happens there, Don, it appears the Nationals are not going to enter a rebuild, but tough choices loom ahead. If you spend on Harper, that may inhibit the Nationals' ability to sign a long-term contract for someone like a Trey Turner and Anthony Rendon. And as you guys were talking about, too, the starting rotation probably needs one more new pitcher as well.
JP, I got the feeling today in talking to Dave Martinez that, like you said, they feel like they're still okay and that a full rebuild is not something that they're willing to do at this stage, even without Bryce Harper.
Correct. And of course, when you think about priorities, you look at the outfield and they've got Adam Eaton, who right now is their right fielder, Juan Soto, an emerging star in left. They believe Victor Robles could play center, as could Michael Taylor. So their marginal dollars, if you want to look at it that way, Don, they may be better used on different aspects of the club.
Dave Martinez wanted no part of that rebuild today when we asked him about it. He was like, no, we're pushing. We're going to keep trying to push and keep trying to win. When you have Strasburg and Scherzer, 1-2 in your rotation, you try to win.
Culberson will take the strike, and that is strike 3. Didn't like it. But he'll take with him the first K of the day for Jeremy Hellickson. 2 down.
Just a good fastball away. Comes back perfectly. Anytime as a pitcher you hit the catcher right in the glove like that with no movement, 99% of the time, even if it's a little bit outside, they're going to call it a strike.
2 down here in the second inning with Suzuki at first. He led off with a single, but still there with 2 down. And here is Dansby Swanson. Just 4 for his last 31 at the plate for Swanson.
He's having a nice year, though. 14 homers out of the 8 hole. Toughest place in baseball to hit is the 8th hole. 8th spot in the order in the National League with the pitcher behind you, because you're always caught between, are they going to pitch to me? Are they going to pitch around me? Are they going to throw me a strike? Should I be aggressive? Should I take? And especially as a young guy, the way Swanson is, he's handled it very admirably and deserves credit, because you're not always going up there knowing exactly what's going to happen.
Are you a run saved guy? You buy into that?
If you tell me what it means, then I might buy into it.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure I know what it means, but he has 10 defensive runs saved this season. 6th most among all major league shortstops.
He can play shortstop. There's never a question about his defense. And with Ron Washington, their third base coach, one of the best infield instructors out there, he's only going to get better.
Mentioned Ron Washington. To me, he may be the best instructor in all the game.
Infield, definitely. I played for Wash in Texas. He was my manager. I talked to him today, man. That guy makes me laugh every time. I love Wash, his energy, everything he does. Walks around, just smile on his face, just happy to be here. One of the best.
One of the hardest workers, too.
Absolutely.
Out there with somebody different every day during the course of the season. 2-1 to Swanson. He'll be fouled back and do it again here. We're going to talk about Dansby Swanson. September the 8th against the Diamondbacks, bottom of the 9th inning, clinging to a 2-run lead with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Swanson made a diving play on the ball, had the heady play to throw home, nabbing Nick Ahmed at home to end the game and preserve a 5-4 win.
What a play against his old team, the team that drafted him 1-1 overall, 1st overall in the draft. Traded him here to Atlanta for Shelby Miller, and to make that play in a playoff race, Arizona fighting for a playoff spot, Braves fighting for a playoff spot, got to be a great feeling against your old team.
So I would say that was a run saved if I were to categorize that.
So you do know what run saved means?
No, I don't.
Well, that was one, so you got it. So I like a lot of the metrics I get, but some of them I just have a hard time figuring out how they figure it out.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I know there's people way smarter than me, and teams have gone to, and I like a lot of them, but sometimes it's just hard for me to figure out, like, how do they know that Trey Turner would have got to that ball and Dansby Swanson wouldn't?
Right.
That's the thing for me, that analytics sometimes.
That is ball 4, and down to first base goes Swanson. First walk allowed by Jeremy Hellickson.
And a good at bat by Swanson, because 8th hole again. Is he pitching? Is he going to pitch to me? Is he going to pitch around me? Pitcher on deck. Got to 3-2. Laid off a tough pitch and clears the pitcher for next inning.
I'll tell you, Ron, the pitcher coming up here has 7 hits on the year. 7 for 36. The numbers overall at 194. And he does have a home run.
I can't believe Julio hit a home run. He used to talk in BP all the time about how great of a hitter he was. And the one thing we could always say is you never hit a home run, and then boom, this year he hits a home run.
That's here with runners at first and second. Suzuki at second. Swanson at first with 2 away. Keyboom, the catcher, out in front of home plate, reeling off the signs. Is that basically about where he's going to go if they double steal?
It is. And as a catcher, I never like doing that, because most of the time if you're giving signs, it means you're throwing the ball to second base, because if you're throwing the ball to third base, you don't give a sign. So when I was with the Red Sox, Torey Lovullo, who's now the manager of the Diamondbacks, used to be like, he'd give the signs to everybody by the way he did something in the dugout, like the way he stood or whatever it was. So that way I didn't have to go out there and give signs. You just looked in the dugout and he would tell you, so it wouldn't make it as obvious. But the runners aren't going anywhere right here with Julio up. If Kurt Suzuki and Dansby Swanson and one of them gets thrown out and Julio has to lead off the next inning, we might see Brian Snitker's head explode from the dugout.
That's a strike, and it's 2-1 right at the bottom of the zone for Hellickson. Hellickson 41 pitches deep here in an inning and 2/3. Pitch count they'll be keeping an eye on here. He's not made a start since a month ago.
And they said 85 to 90. So he's halfway there.
Falling behind the pitcher here, 3-1. Top of the order, Ronald Acuna Jr. waiting on deck. Already has a base hit in this game and scored a run.
And not who Hellickson wants to face with the bases loaded.
Tehran taking all the way as he kind of ran up in the box there and takes strike two.
Okay, Don, I got a great insight for you right here.
Yeah.
The runners are going to be going on this pitch.
That is really breaking it down.
Keyboom came out and gave signs, but he's not going to throw it if they steal either.
2 down, full count. First and second. Spiraling off the backside was Hellickson, but no throw. Sent Suzuki darting back to the bag, but nobody was cheating in behind him. Tehran lines it to center. Harper going back, and he'll get there to make the catch. Struck pretty well. Seemed to surprise Harper initially, but out of the inning is Jeremy Hellickson. This game is tied at 1 after 2 from Atlanta. Empower the drive. Some great statues around this SunTrust Park. Second year of its existence. Phil Negro out there. It's like the knuckler, huh?
That is the knuckleball. That was my bat speed, Don. About 72 miles an hour. I could get to that one. Tim Wakefield, the Red Sox knuckleball guy. I'd see him coming out, and I'm like, I'm going to get a hit today. I can catch up to the 72-mile-an-hour knuckleball.
Well, it's on to the third. And the top of the order, Adam Eaton getting his second look at Julio Tehran. Game tied 1-1. Eaton a strikeout victim in the first and the recipient of strike one. Eaton, Turner, and Harper featured here in the third inning. 0-2. There is a breeze today as the flags out in right center field are headed from left to right and occasionally out in that direction. One of the areas where there is a hole out there in right center. It's not completely closed in here.
And everything I've seen and everything I've heard, the ball flies out of here to right field towards the chop house.
This is on the ground, and Albies at second base. It's a soft toss to first, one down. So Eden retired and Trey Turner coming up. There is the chop house out there in right field, 325 feet to the wall in right. It's 400 to center, 335 down the left field line. Jets out to 385 in the gap in left center.
And Freddie Freeman complained about that. I remember when they were designing it, he hits a lot of his homers left center, and he's like, couldn't you make that left center field gap a little bit shorter for me, fellas? Of course he was joking, but beautiful ballpark here, and the ball carries, so Freddie can't complain too much.
You did or did not like Turner Field?
It was okay. I liked it because it was in Atlanta and I live in Orlando and I could get home whenever I wanted, and I grew up a Braves fan, and Turner Field was cool, and I remember watching so many games there growing up.
Right back at Tehran, who fields this nicely. Down by the ankles. 2 down.
But for as new as it was, relatively new to less than 20 years, the facilities underneath were not that good. The locker room and stuff needed help.
A snare here.
No look. Stick the glove out, see what I find, and then kind of pimps it a little bit.
Wow, twice looking at the ball.
Took his time. And the ball's hit at you that hard, you can take your time.
He's retired 6 in a row. Nice play by himself there. 2 down in the third inning for Bryce Harper, who walked in the first, came around to score the Nationals' first run. Both teams getting a single run in the first inning.
This will be the old pitch around again, I think, by Julio Tehran. Don't give him anything good to hit, but try to walk him if you can.
Harper now, Rendon next.
This is when, as a manager or a catcher on the team facing Bryce Harper, Kurt Suzuki, you just want to be like, look, put him on first, that way we'll know where he's at. I mean, this is just a 40-foot breaking ball that hits Manny Gonzalez, probably where you don't want to get hit.
Laz Diaz coming in to check on him, third base umpire, but he appears to be okay.
That's not. Can we stop, please? Stop. As a former catcher, that really hits home.
Well put.
I think Laz Diaz, when he came to talk to Manny, got a nice chuckle out of it because he knew he was behind the plate last night and doesn't have to feel those balls hitting him today.
2 down here in the third inning.
I mean, Julio could save 4 pitches right now if he just, just do the intentional walk trick.
Even of the no throw kind.
That's right. It'll count as 4 pitches, but it'll save the energy.
And there you go. So a 4-pitch walk, second time that Harper has walked. 2 down here in the third inning. Let's go back to 2013. Bryce Harper hit a third inning home run on Tehran. It took a slow trot around the bases. Very slow. Tehran plunked the National star in his next plate appearance. Bryce didn't like it, and they jawed at each other as the benches would clear. See Joe West in the middle of that.
I just like Joe West not grabbing Harper. He grabs the Braves guy. I think it was Brian McCann. He grabbed Brian McCann. And since that moment, Bryce Harper has actually done even better. I know his numbers are crazy good, but he's done even better against Julio. They always say don't wake a sleeping dog. Well, Julio, when he hit Bryce Harper, he awoke him, and he's killed him ever since.
40 at bats, 450. 8 homers, 19 runs batted in, and that's why he just got walked twice, once in the first and once here in the third.
A couple grand slams mixed in there.
There he goes, takes off at first as Rendon fouls it off. Harper was off at first. Nail it back to first with a count of 0-2.
And he's a little bit perturbed because he knows he had that base stolen easily. Would have stood up at second base, and Rendon fouled it off, and that was kind of the look on Harper's face, like, you got to be kidding me. I had an easy stolen base, and the guy swung. But this is just no chance as a catcher. High leg kick from Julio, 3/4 of the way there, just an easy stolen base. Could have been in scoring position for Rendon.
There he goes again, and Rendon strikes out. Went lunging after that pitch, and it's the 4th K for Tehran. We head to the bottom of the third, tied 1-1. Ronald Acuna Jr. is going to lead it off, but we return to Atlanta. The game tied. From SunTrust Park in Atlanta, Georgia. Top of the Braves order, Ronald Acuna Jr. coming up. Ellickson back on the hill, and he fires strike one. Acuna singled in the infield in the first inning, came around to score the Braves run. They are shifting on him again in the infield with Wilmer Defoe, second baseman. Left side of the infield, slowly hit to Rendon. Throw a little bit off the mark, but keeping the foot on the bag. Some nice footwork there from Mark Reynolds for out number 1 of the inning.
Nice play charging by Rendon. Makes it look so easy. Mark Reynolds, good footwork at first, but man, it makes it look so easy. Just calm, cool, pretty good, pretty fast guy running down there in Acuna, and just takes his time, gets you out.
One down here in the third inning. Ozzie Albies coming up here now for Atlanta. Flied out to right field in the first inning, 0 for 1 today. Shifting again, this time on the right side on him. Shortens up, but pulls it back. It takes ball 1. Grab the attention, though. Rendon charging in from third. There is the shift on the right side.
Almost every guy has a shift now. There is no more regular defense. The shift has become the regular defense.
Would it bother you as a hitter?
No, they didn't shift on me because we already talked about my bat speed. So I never pulled the ball. I always got jammed and hit to the left side. So they actually would reverse shift on me and put the guys on the other side of the field. I wish they would have. I could have got a lot of hits to shortstop. I hit a lot of ground balls with the shortstop in my career and would have given me a couple more hits.
Sharply hit, but just outside the bag at first and foul.
I was taught coming up through the Twins organization, Tom Kelly as our manager, you had to hit the ball the other way. So David Ortiz, who became a legend in Boston, came up with me, and they were like, hit the ball the other way, hit the ball the other way. And David wasn't the best at it. When he went to Boston, they're like, forget hitting the ball the other way, just pull it and hit homers. He went on to hit over 500 homers, obviously have a possible Hall of Fame career, but it was just a different era. Now they teach hit it over him or hit it through him, and that just wasn't the way I was raised and just the way I was taught. And man, I wish they would have shifted. It would have been such a nice little easy ground ball to short to get a hit.
Well, that's quite a time in Twins history with all you guys coming up together at the same time, coming through the system in what appeared to be the right way.
Yeah, the Twins way. You had to hit. Yeah. You had to hit the ball the other way. You had to catch the ball. You had to bunt. I mean, I remember in the minor leagues, David Ortiz had to bunt. And he's like, what am I doing? Why am I bunting? He's like, I hit homers. See, Albies right there trying to bunt with 2 strikes because of the shift. But yeah, Torrey Hunter, not a bad player. David Ortiz, not a bad player. Christian Guzman had a nice career. Doug Minkiewicz, Gold Glove, nice career, World Series. We had some pretty good players in the Twins coming up. We all came up together. It was nice.
Payoff pitch here to Albies. And a grounder right side as Defoe stride on the outfield grass. 2 down. And now a quick word from Wells Fargo. Stay tuned later in the game for a look at the college football action with Wells Fargo committed to more. 2 down here in the 3rd inning. 3 in a row retired by Hellickson. Trying to record his first 1-2-3 inning of his outing. And it'll bring up Freddie Freeman. They are shifting with Defoe in short right field. Duck back into short right. Freeman with a sac fly in the first. Brought in the Braves' first and only run. Next pitch will be the 55th of the game for Jeremy Hellickson through 2 2/3 innings. And it's a strike, 2-1. Freddie Freeman, who resides in Atlanta during the offseason. Broke into the big leagues in 2010. Sends one foul and evens the count here at 2-2. Most home runs he's hit in any season. 2016 hit 34 home runs. Last year at 28. So far this year at 21. So what about the move from Turner Field here in the last 2 years for Freddie Freeman? What's that's done to his home run game?
Well, he hit 28 last year, and he probably would have hit 40. But remember, he missed a bunch of time with the bat. He broke his wrist, hit by a pitch, and broke his wrist or hurt his wrist. And at the time, was probably going to, the way he was going and the start he got off to, there's a good chance he was going to be in the MVP conversation at the end of the year because of how good he was doing. And then he missed a long time because of wrist. Then he came back and played third base because Matt Adams came in. I mean, I played with Freddie for 2 years, and he was a good first baseman, but I would have died to have seen him play third base live because there would have been some chuckles.
Down the left field line and foul again. It hangs at 2-2. This battle continues between Jeremy Hellickson and Freddie Freeman. Where does Freeman rank? NL ranks this year 3rd in hits, 6th in average, 5th in on base percentage, extra base hits, and runs on the top 10. Foul again on the move is Soto, and he won't have a play into the seats.
2 months ago, I think it was about 2 months ago, I was on Whip Around on FS1, and we were talking about NL MVP, and I said Freddie Freeman was my NL MVP then, and since then his numbers have kind of fallen off, especially the power numbers. But at the time, the first half of the year, for me, he was the most valuable player before Acuna for the Braves took off and before some other guys. But at the time, Freddie Freeman was for me at least, the most valuable player in the National League because of what he was doing for his team and because the Braves were a surprise in first place.
On the ground with a shift in play, it's Trey Turner, the shortstop, who fires to first and ends the 3rd inning. We're headed for the 4th from Atlanta. This game is tied at 1.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Game tied up 1-1 to the 4th inning we go, and Juan Soto leading it off here for the Nationals, the 19-year-old. What a story he has been this year. 20 home runs, 62 runs batted in, a .305 average. He's already been a big part of this game with a single, a stolen base, and an RBI. Remember the conversation about Bryce Harper arriving on the scene and him being 19 years of age and everything that came with that. I mean, really burst onto the scene, and maybe not the same kind of coverage for Juan Soto, but the numbers are every bit as good, if not better, than Bryce Harper at 19, which makes it pretty amazing.
Well, Bryce Harper was talked about since he was like 8 years old.
Right.
9 years old. Sports Illustrated on the cover, and you heard about Bryce Harper for years before he made it as a 19-year-old. So he was like an old man at 19 years old, whereas Soto kind of came up, and Victor Robles was kind of the prospect that everyone was talking about. And then this kid Juan Soto out of nowhere, boom, puts up these numbers. And if you compare him to Bryce Harper, I'll take Soto over Harper for the age 19 year. Look at the OPS, almost 150 points higher, more RBIs, better average. pretty darn impressive for a 19-year-old kid.
Harper in that first year playing 139 games.
So he's out RBI'd him, almost out Hobered him, and a lot less games. And Harper, as Dave Martinez said, Harper's taking him under his wing. He's like his mentor, 25 years old. 25-year-old mentor to a 19-year-old. That's pretty great.
103rd game of this year for Soto. Waits here on a 2-2 pitch. Where does he rank for you, JP?
Don, at the moment, you could say Juan Soto is having the best offensive season for a 19-year-old player in MLB history. Minimum 80 games played. He's got the best adjusted OPS over that time. Again, the history of the game. The rest of the top four, Mel Ott, Tony Conigliaro, and Ty Cobb.
Wow. That is amazing.
Pretty good names. Really good names, actually.
Well, Dave Martinez saying that he has matured beyond his years. Things they're asking him to do, and he is handling extremely well, even from a defensive standpoint, and knowing where to be defensively and learning on the fly here. Really impressed with the maturity of this 19-year-old who will take a walk. Third walk allowed today by Tehran, and it begins things here in the fourth inning. Second time Soto's been aboard today.
Just the maturity. What an at bat. Down in the count, fought back, draw a leadoff walk from Julio Tehran. But JP, you were talking about the greatest 19-year-old season in history. Well, on the other side, Ronald Acuna is having a pretty good year for the old man at 20 years old. Who's the rookie of the year in the National League? Is it Soto or is it Acuna?
AJ, I'm glad I don't have that ballot this year as a writer, because that's a hard answer to give. I believe this, that Acuna has been perhaps the Braves MVP this year. You look at the responsibility he's taken on, batting leadoff, considering the context there, and I know you're not really supposed to consider team success as much in the Rookie of the Year, but I think him being the catalyst for this Braves team, I give a slight edge to Acuna.
Interesting, JP, because we had this argument last night, and you took Soto.
Well, AJ, you were so good at convincing me of your side. See, I'm open-minded and always ready to be swayed to the opposite argument, AJ. And I just think that what he has done, and I would say this too, the totality of him as a player, the defense, the base running. He also nearly hit for the cycle last night, AJ. So that was a pretty convincing argument here, right here in person.
Well, I'm glad I could convince you. You're no Ken Rosenthal. I can't convince him of anything. But I agree. For me, they're so evenly matched. If you look at their numbers between Soto and Acuna, it's like splitting hairs between the two of them. But the wins, that's what it does. You're not supposed to factor that in like JP said, but the wins for me is what it is. First place team versus a third place team. And again, you're splitting hairs. The RBIs are close. The home runs are close. The runs are close. The age is close. Everything is close except for one thing, the standings.
Swing and a miss here from Mark Reynolds, who strikes out. Fifth strikeout for Tehran, one down in the inning. Acuna, of course, missing a month with the knee injury that occurred in Boston. So the difference in games played there. One out, one on, and a check on Soto at first base with Wilmer Defoe at the plate. Well, the only other year in which a Braves player and an Expos/Nationals player ever ranked 1-2 in the voting for that award, David Justice in '90, and he won it. Delino DeShields was the runner-up in 1990.
David Justice did okay.
Yeah, he did.
He did all right for himself, and Delino DeShields did all right. Now Delino DeShields Jr. is in the major league, so two pretty good guys, pretty good players, but I think these two might be better than those two.
Runner goes, pitch outside. Suzuki's throw is going to be late at second base as Soto steals second, gets into scoring position with one down.
And as JP made the argument for base running, Soto goes out and steals second just to give him something else to think about. But the Braves might look at this because of him switching hands and switching feet, and Swanson doing a great job of keeping the tag on him. Great camera work by our guys, and great job by Juan Soto to keep his right hand on the base.
Somehow, with his body headed to the outfield, he was able to keep his fingers on the bag. Defoe takes a hack, and it's 2-1. Soto in scoring position with one away here in the 4th inning. That's ball 3. Only 1 run allowed by Tehran here through 3 1/3. He's allowed a total of 3 hits. He has walked 3, including the leadoff walk to Soto this inning, and he's recorded 5 Ks to this point of the game. That's ball 4, and that's the second walk of the inning allowed by Tehran, make it 4 walks for the right-hander.
Once he fell behind and once Soto stole second, Julio took a look on deck and saw Keyboom and was like, he's right-handed. I've dominated right-handed hitters pretty much the whole year. Got a weak ground ball from Keyboom in the second inning, so he's looking for a ground ball double play, and not having Wilmer Defoe beat him.
2 on, 1 away. Keyboom getting his second look today at Tehran. He grounded to third base to Charlie Culberson in the second inning.
And Soto right now is looking to steal third. If you can get to third with less than 2 outs right here, much easier RBI for Keyboom than on second, where it requires a hit. And he was going right there. He just didn't trust himself.
He's upset with himself out there as he had a jump like he was headed towards third and then stopped himself.
He was going, and he just didn't trust himself. Just didn't trust that he got the jump that he. Sometimes as a base runner, you get too good of a jump and you scare yourself, and you're like, I can't have this good of a jump.
Tehran dealing with Keyboom, the number 8 hitter. Number 9 hitter and pitcher Jeremy Hellickson on deck. After walking 2 in this inning. Tried to hold up but could not, goes around. Frustrated and down 0-2. Takes a little stroll out of the batter's box area.
Just fooled. Good slider. Didn't want to swing at it. He swung it. He's seen 5 pitches today and he swung at all 5. So I think he decided last night in about the 9th inning of the 4-hour game that he was going to swing every pitch he saw, and he hasn't been able to stop himself yet.
Bounces in, blocked by Suzuki, able to pick it.
Now as a catcher, you see a guy up there talking to himself, swinging at bad pitches. You got him 0-2. A lot of times you just try and sneak a heater by him, because he's like, all right, I've swung at every pitch, and instead they decided to go with the slider again, and Suzuki does a great job of keeping it in front of him and gloving it.
First and second, 1 away here for the Nationals. Elevated for ball 2. There's your fastball, but not enticing enough for Keyboom to chase.
Well, that's a show me fastball. NCP used to call those a non-competitive pitch because it does no purpose. Yeah, you throw it up and in, but he's a catcher, he's a hitter. He's like, okay, that was just something for show. Now it's going to go back down and away and try and get me out.
Runners go. That is a ball. Throw down to third and safe. On the front end is Soto. It's a double steal. Soto to third, Defoe to second. And it's ball 3 to Keyboom.
Another good jump by Soto. Just reads Julio. Fastball up and in. Pretty good pitch to throw. Just no chance for Suzuki to get Juan Soto. And on the back end, Wilmer Defoe sneaks into second base.
Well, entering today, 2 3 today already, and we're just in the 4th inning.
Well, he just wants JP to have a tough time telling all his writer buddies who to vote for Rookie of the Year. That's why.
This is all for JP Morosi.
That's right. So now what do, Julio? You got to throw him a slider down and away here. Take your chances with the pitcher.
Ball 4, and that's the 3rd walk of the inning. 5 walks in all now for Tehran. He's walked him loaded with 1 out. I'm going to bring out Chuck Hernandez, the pitching coach, here to talk to Tehran as you get Jeremy Hellickson, the pitcher, coming up. Well, the Braves continue their homestand tomorrow with the finale against the Nationals before welcoming the Cardinals and Phillies. Come out to SunTrust Park to see Freeman, Albies, and Acuna battle for the NL East title. Get your tickets now at Braves.com.
Well, eventually you're going to have to pitch somebody, Don. Chuck Hernandez out there was saying, you got the pitcher up. If he hits a ground ball, you get a double play. So even though you've walked 3, you're in a good spot, and you can't pitch around everybody. Eventually you got to try to get somebody out here, Julio.
Pitched around Harper on 2 occasions in the 1st and 3rd, walking him twice. Walked Soto in this inning, Defoe, and more recently Kieboom, the number 8 hitter. And here is Hellickson now. The base is loaded, 1 down.
And this is the thing that's plagued Julio all year. You look up on the board, he's given up 3 hits and 3 in a 3rd inning and only 1 run, but 5 walks.
He's 75 pitches deep into his outing, 3 1/3. Hellickson taking a hack and fouling it off to the right, out of play. His action in the Braves pen for the first time today. Outfield playing him shallow and to go the other way. And he's down 0-2. Where is Hellickson going? He's down 0-2.
He hurt his hand. Remember, he came off the DL. He was on the DL. Here's the first swing. Watch. He screams, ow, and he realizes that's the wrist he hurt. He was just on the DL, just coming back off the DL, and looks like he's going to come out of the game right here. And we're going to have a nice delay as they got to get a new hitter up there.
Paul Lassard, the head trainer over there.
As a pitcher, you don't want to hurt your hand, but as a hitter, pitcher, you really don't want to hurt your hand, and especially for a guy coming off the DL because of a wrist injury, and now Nationals are going to be forced to use a. I guess this is considered a pinch hitter, Don. Is this considered a pinch hitter in the middle of an at-bat?
It is. Andrew Stevenson is going to pinch hit. That will end the day for Jeremy Hellickson, who to this point of the game had thrown 60 pitches through the first 3 innings.
And the frustration, just come off the DL over a month because of a wrist injury and on a swing. Hurts it. Not pitching, not for anything except for swinging a bat. And this stinks for Stevenson right here. 0-2, bases loaded. He wants to try to get the run in, but cold, no idea what's coming. Probably a breaking ball.
It's in the dirt, and it's 1-2.
Thank you, Julio, for listening in on our Gamecast, and Kurt Suzuki. One good thing right here for Stevenson, if he strikes out, that insult to injury to Hellickson, it goes on his record. Stevenson gets a hit, though, it's good for him. He strikes out or makes an out, it goes on Hellickson.
Two and two.
Slider backs up on him. Side spin, not kind of down and in, but that's called a backup slider. Instead of finishing down and into the left-hand hitter, it actually goes down and away, almost screwball action.
Swing and a miss, and Stevenson strikes out. 6th strikeout for Tehran. Needed that. 2 down.
And another slider from Julio. Tehran. Of course, Stevenson comes up there cold off the bench, bases loaded, and gets 3 sliders from a guy that's known for a slider, and he goes and sits down.
So now it is a bases loaded scenario with 2 down in the inning in the top of the order. And Adam Eaton getting his 3rd look today at Tehran. Struck out in the 1st, grounded out to second base in the 3rd. And takes ball 1.
If you're the Washington Nationals, you have to figure out a way to score a run here. Julio Tehran gave you 3 walks, 3 free base runners. Can't walk away from this with 0 on the board. Because every time this happens as a team, you usually go out the next inning and give up some runs.
Now he falls behind 2-0. Went to the fastball that time. Well, the hardest he's thrown today, but off the mark. And you look at the pitch breakdown for Tehran.
It's a lot of pitches through 3 2/3. 82 pitches. Tough at bats by the Nationals. 5 walks.
Make it 3-0.
It's about to be 6 walks if he's not careful right here.
No place to put Eaton. And that's ball 4. A 4-pitch walk brings in a run for the Nationals, who take a 2-1 lead. That is the 4th walk of the inning, the 6th of the outing for Tehran. It's an RBI for Eaton.
None of those 4 pitches were even close to Eaton. 4 pitches that are just far, far away from the strike zone.
Sam Freeman up for the Braves right now, as bullpens are busy right now. There's a strike to Trey Turner. Kind of a mock cheer goes up here at SunTrust Park. First career bases loaded walk for Tehran. Career high 4 walks in this inning. Turner fouls it back and finds himself down 0-2. Jeffrey Rodriguez will be replacing Jeremy Hellickson, it appears, as he warms up now. Hellickson coming out of the game after fouling a pitch off and re-injuring his wrist, it appears.
And Rodriguez was the guy they had mentioned at starting in case Hellickson wasn't able to go today.
He's going to piggyback him either way, it appeared today, on the pitch count scenario. Still 0-2 to Turner. Turner with a single to center in the 1st, grounded back to the mound in the 3rd, 1 for 2.
Braves would love to see Julio Tehran get through this inning and, if possible, get through one more inning, because his spot will come up due in the order and they don't have to burn a pitcher and a pinch hitter.
Another good block by Suzuki. He's had a few today.
He's having a nice day behind the plate, blocking balls. Also got a hit. Been back there for a long time on defense. Washington is winning the time of possession right now.
Bases filled with Nationals. Defoe at 3rd, Keyboom at 2nd, Eaton at 1st. Turner will pop it up, backhand out of play as Suzuki comes back, but no play. Next pitch will be the 90th of the day now for Tehran.
Well, this is his last hitter, at least of this inning, no matter what. If he gets Turner out right here, he's not facing Bryce Harper.
Remember, Harper has 3 career grand slams and 2 of them off Tehran.
Well, I was behind the plate for one of those, Don, and I remember it well. It was opening day in Washington, 16, and my ears are still ringing from the sound of the contact and the ovation from the crowd.
Turner waves at it, strikes out. Big strikeout for Tehran, but the Nationals take a 2-1 lead as Tehran walks in a run. Now, let's send you back to our college football studio for extra coverage from Wells Fargo. Between Houston and Texas Tech, followed by number 22 USC and Texas at 8 Eastern. Or watch anywhere on the Fox Sports app. Last of the fourth inning back in Atlanta, and thanks to the injury by Jeremy Hellickson swinging, he departs this game, and Jeffrey Rodriguez comes into his 11th game. 2-2 with a 5.89 earned run average in 44 1/3 innings. It's a hard-throwing right-hander. Added to the 40-man roster following last year, and this year went to spring training in the Major League spring training side of things for the first time. Made 3 starts earlier this year. Made his Major League debut here at Atlanta back on June 3rd. Deals with Nick Markakis to open up the bottom of the 4th inning. Swing to the first pitch, sends it towards Soto in left, who handles out number 1.
Rodriguez is a guy the Nats are very high on. Big, tall, lanky right-hander, throws hard, good slider. They're hoping he can be someone that can step in. Gio Gonzalez gone, possibly Hellickson, depending on what happens with him. Step in and fill a spot in their rotation down the road.
One down for Kurt Suzuki, who singled to center field in the 2nd inning. One of only 2 hits allowed by Hellickson today. Hellickson goes 3 innings, giving up 2 hits, the 1 run, walks 1, strikes out 1, and despite leaving here with a 2-1 lead, did not go the minimum to make himself eligible for a victory here today. Just the 3 innings. That's strike 2.
It's a good pitch, right on the inside corner. I love the flames, and I get 95 above. Flames on the graphic.
No fastball this time, but it's fouled off to the right. So Rodriguez was ticketed to kind of piggyback Hellickson today in his first start back from the DL. Here he is pitching in the 4th inning with 1 out. Fly ball to right field. Adam Eaton has it lined up. Takes care of out number 2. Let's go back to Mike Hill in the studio for a game break. All right, Mike, thanks very much. That is some exciting baseball going on right now. I love the second wild card.
It keeps a lot of teams in it. Keeps a lot of fan bases engaged. It's been great for the game. It really has.
Under Enciarte.
As good as the first wild card was when they implemented that, the second wild card might have been even more important. It stinks they get to play a 1 game, but at least more teams are engaged in the playoff chase late into September.
So many cities still involved, still into it on this September 15th, and a lot of great baseball coming up here down the stretch. A lot of divisional matchups across Major League Baseball. And here's a look at what's going on right now in the division leaders and the wild card.
Well, you already picked the Dodgers to win the West, so
that's my pick. I would say I'm sticking with it.
So then who's your wild card? Milwaukee, obviously, with 4-game lead, and then
that's where it gets a little gray with me. Because you could have Colorado jump there in the mix too. They're only half a game up, and I like the Rockies a lot.
Milwaukee and the Cubs still battling for the Central. St. Louis got hot there for a while, struggling against the Dodgers, losing the first 2 and behind today. I hope there's like a 7-team tie for a wild card and we have like 6 extra playoff games.
That would be awesome.
We can get you to do like 5 of them, and I'll just come in on the last one and do that. How's that?
I like how you're mapping out your schedule and mine. This one is in the air to right center field. Harper and Eaton. It'll be Harper makes the catch. 3 fly ball outs, but a 1-2-3 4th inning. Nationals enjoy a 2-1 lead. The new pitcher is Sam Freeman, who appears in his 59th game of the year. 4.56 earned run average. He's Logged 47 in the third innings. He's made 9 scoreless appearances and walked just 3 since returning from the disabled list at the end of August. There he is in a tight game in the 5th inning, taking over for Tehran, and there's Bryce Harper to lead it off in the 5th inning for the Nationals.
Well, you said it, Don, the walks. Sam Freeman's always been a guy that's had the stuff, had the pitches, has been lacking in command, and walks have been the thing that have hurt him over his career. When he throws it over the plate, he can be a weapon for the Atlanta Braves.
No problem for today's starter for the Braves. Tehran certainly walks 6 of them, and 4 a career high coming for him in the 4th inning, which led to the go-ahead run in this game for the Nationals. The bases loaded walk to Adam Eaton. It's a difference in the game. Struck out 7, worked the first 4.
Well, how often do you see an inning where there's 3 strikeouts, not 1 ball put in play, and the other team scores a run?
Not often.
Very rare. 3 true outcomes, walks and strikeouts. We had 2 of them.
So he struck out the side, but mixed in 4 walks and a run.
He walked more than he struck out. That was the problem.
Close pitch, and Suzuki kind of stuck it there for an extra second for Gonzalez, but called the ball. 2-2.
It's an MVP pitch right here. As a catcher, you say, man, Manny, that's a good pitch. And he's like, Bryce Harper has an MVP in his pocket. He's not. I'm not calling that.
Harper pops it up. Foul, back and out of play. He's walked twice, both times against the Brave starter Tehran. Be followed by Rendon and Soto here in the inning. The toughest part of this order for the Nationals. Swing and a miss, and a foul tip into the catcher's mitt for strike 3. First strikeout for Freeman, 8th K for Braves pitching.
Harper finally gets the swing. Helmet, maybe he didn't hit it because his helmet came flying off. He's got such great hair that his helmet wants to jump off his head to show it off, but
that is some of the best moss in all of Major League Baseball, I think.
I agree. If you can grow it that good, you have to show it off. I mean, he runs the bases, his helmet automatically flies off.
I'd take it off. Just start with it off, you know?
And he's known for that now. He's become known for his hair. Forget his playing.
Oh, it's all about the flow.
Scott Boras, his agent, I'm sure in free agency this winter, will say, hey, let's not forget about Bryce Harper's hair. Let's add a couple zeros on the end of that.
1 out here in the 5th. Anthony Rendon singled in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd. Action in the pen. Jesse Biddle worked in last night's game for the Braves, working now in the pen. There's a strike, 3-1, with Juan Soto waiting on deck. Move Ender Enciarte, center fielder, over towards right center for Rendon to go the other way. And he does, but foul. Make it a full count. That is actually Sabatka who is up in the pen, not Biddle. Fouled off, still a full count.
And another pesky at bat here by the Nationals. They've kind of done it all day, whether they're ahead in the count or behind in the count. Full count walk, get pitch counts up. That's why Julio Tehran threw so many pitches. Now you look up and Sam Freeman's already thrown a bunch of pitches in this one inning because of the at-bat from Harper, and now the at-bat by Rendon.
To right center field. Ciarte on the move, headed back, and he'll make the running catch. Runs onto the dirt of the track, had to go a long way. A good running grab out there by Ender, and Ciarte, the Braves center fielder, 2 down. Coming up is Juan Soto, and it's time for the Swiffer powerful cleanup hitter. Most home runs all time by teenagers. Tony Conigliaro, 24. Bryce Harper, 22. Soto's got 20 right now, and Mel Ott at 19.
Can he catch him?
He's got a shot here. What do we got? 2 weeks? And lots of this game left. 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Well, today, stealing 3 bases, first teenager in Major League history with 3 steals in 1 game. So adding to the lore of Juan Soto.
Keep it up, young fella. Keep it up. Exciting to watch, fun to watch.
He's been on twice today, a single in the 1st. He walked in the 4th inning.
I'm just amazed. Dave Martinez said at his maturity. At 19 years old, you're not supposed to have at-bats like this kid has. You're not supposed to know as much as this kid seems to know. Heck, you're supposed to be worried about like your freshman year in college and your English Comp 1 final exam. This kid's worried about getting hits off Julio Teheran in the big leagues and now Sam Freeman.
Soto swinging 3-0 and fouls it back on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. So had the green light there, 3-0.
And one thing, you see how small that list is of home runs by teenagers. The reason it's so small is not a lot of teenagers get to the major leagues. And one thing in baseball that's changed over the last probably 5 to 10 years is how quickly guys get there because they're more prepared.
Ball 4. First walk allowed by Freeman. Walk number 7 given up by the Atlanta Braves pitching staff today.
Players are more prepared at younger ages because of travel baseball as a youth and Brian Snicker coming to the mound here for a pitching change. But they're just more prepared. They're more mentally prepared. They've seen more. They've traveled more. When I was growing up, you never left your county to play except into high school. But now it's different.
Pitching change from Atlanta with the Nationals on top 2-1. The 3.00 ERA. 13 strikeouts, 7 walks so far. Out of the University of South Carolina. He's a Braves 4th-round pick. Stands at 6'7". And deals with strike 1 to Mark Reynolds.
Big, tall drink of water.
Yes,
out on the mound.
Born in Sarasota, Florida.
God's country.
Called on the 8th from AAA Gwinnett. And a quick check over at first base on Juan Soto. Already stolen 3 bases in this game. He's aboard with 2 down in the 5th. Missing at 96.
Every guy out of the bullpen these days, 95 and above. Used to be, let's get in their bullpen. It's the weak spot of a team. Now it's, let's not get in the bullpen. These darn guys throw too hard. Where's the 88-mile-an-hour single ball guys today?
Runner goes, and it's fouled back as Soto making a bid for his 4th theft of the day.
Oh, he had that one stolen too. Much like Harper earlier in the game when Rendon swung, Soto had that base stolen easily, and Reynolds fouled it off. Give him another opportunity. Probably steal this pitch. Good jump. A little slow to the plate. No chance for Suzuki. You saw him. He didn't even come up trying to throw.
Popped up. Foul ground and out of play. Of course, the roster's expanding on September the 1st. Something you like or something you don't like?
Well, I like it from the standpoint that guys get a chance to come up and get a taste of the major leagues. My first taste was a September call-up, but I also don't like it because the game's played differently. You play the same for 5 months out of the year, and then the most important month of the year, you have 38 guys out there, and games take 6 hours because every batter you can match up because you have 17 guys in the bullpen, and just kind of drags it out. I wish there was a way to fix that.
Soto goes again, and here's a fly ball to left center field. And Ciarte coming over and under to make the catch. That will end the top of the 5th inning. Nationals leave a runner, take a 2-1 lead to the bottom of the 5th.
Sweet summertime.
Budweiser takes them out to the ball game. It's been some kind of warm here today in Atlanta as we play day baseball. High 90s and The Nationals and Braves play into the bottom of the 5th inning. Bringing your own mister is a quality move on a day like today.
I was hoping you would bring one. You could mist me while we're sitting up here in the heat. Fortunately, you forgot, Don.
Sorry to disappoint you.
How dare you?
Bottom third of the Braves order here in the bottom of the 5th inning. 7 in a row now retired by Nationals pitching. And it's Charlie Culberson, a strikeout victim in the 2nd. Only strikeout recorded for the Nationals pitching staff today. Down 0-2. Second inning for Jeffrey Rodriguez, who came in the 4th. And a 1-2-3 4th inning, getting Marquez, Suzuki, and Inciarte. Yeah, I'm with you on the changing the rules for an entire month thing after you've been playing under one set for 5. I think maybe go along the lines of what the NHL does. You have so many active that day available. Maybe you keep it at the number of guys you had in the past 25 and have them here. I just don't know how you work out the service time situation. This is to second. And Defoe throws out Culberson for the first out. JP, your thoughts?
Well, Don, I was doing the arithmetic here at field level, and in fact, on this day, the Atlanta Braves have 20 active pitchers. Yes, 20 active pitchers, 14 of whom are relievers. That's not that far from the 25-man roster that you have for most of the season. So, again, Don, I'm with you that maybe that thought is that limited number of players actually active on any given day.
Up in the pen right now is Touki Toussaint, who is warming up for the Braves. One of the 15 guys they got out there, as JP points out. You really could go starting in the 5th inning every hitter.
Just about.
I mean, it's amazing.
And people wonder why baseball games take so long, especially in September. But just a thought, JP and I were discussing this a little bit before the game. What if you did the expanded rosters in April instead of September? When guys are coming out of spring training and they're not quite as sharp as they are in September, maybe do something like that. Expand the rosters in April. Give a team instead of 25, 26, or 27 guys. And I'm all for guys getting service time. I love it. Like I said, I first got called up in September and was a September call up, but there's just something weird about that you can do this and you play these teams that are trying to get a look at guys, and they're in situations that if you're on a bad team and you're on the Baltimore Orioles, who are 56 games out of first place right now, there's not really a lot of pressure on you to come in. And yeah, there's pressure because you want to perform, but I've always said the two most overrated months in baseball, spring training and September. Why? Because you can't get a read on guys in either one. Spring training guys are pitching different, playing different, and September same way, depending on what team you're on.
You always hear from scouts that it is toughest to evaluate players both the months you talked about, spring training and in September when the rosters expand, especially in spring training when you get into the middle of those games and some of your regulars are facing pitchers that are going to be headed to single A, double A in some instances.
Or the other way around.
Yes.
You get a guy in A-ball, double A, that the pitcher out there, a veteran pitcher, he's just working on his fastball command. And if you ever want to hit in spring training, you swing at the first pitch. Because 90% of the time, especially early in spring training, you're facing a veteran pitcher, they're going to throw a fastball. And if you're ready to hit it, you can usually put a good swing on. I think sometimes people get fooled by that. Then you get into the season and pitchers are like, oh, I remember this guy hit a first pitch fastball off me in spring training. Let's throw him a breaking ball, and it looks terrible. So it's just a different mindset for different guys.
I was only around you 1 year in your major league playing career, but I know you like that first pitch a lot.
Just get it over with quick, Don.
It was great.
I'm like Mark Burley. I was like, all for speed of game. All for speed of game. Let's get this over with as fast as possible.
You were one of two things, either on or out, but it all happened fast.
That's
and it
right.
was great.
Why? I didn't get paid by the pitch or the minute, so I was like, hurry up. I struck out in 3 pitches. Fine. I grounded out in the first. Fine. Let's go. Hurry up. I got to get out of here.
Absolutely loved it. It happened fast. Dansby Swanson here waiting on a 3-2. And it's on the ground. Diving at first is Reynolds. Nice play. He'll take it himself on the diving bit at first. You hear about all the power that Reynolds has and home runs over the years. Nice defensive play down there at first base for him.
Very nice play. Off the end of the bat a little bit for Swanson. Funky spin. Stays with it. His glasses go flying off. Thought that was the ball when his glasses went flying. I thought he had dropped the ball, but fortunately for the Nats, it wasn't.
Pinch hitter coming up here now for Atlanta. Preston Tucker is going to pinch hit in the pitcher's spot. Sobotka done for the day after getting the final out of the 5th inning. Tucker at 237, 6 homers, 27 runs batted in. And shift on him on the right side with Defoe ducking back to short right field, the second baseman for the Nationals.
Preston Tucker's had an interesting year. Started the year with the Braves, went away for a little while, and they liked him so much they brought him back for the stretch run here.
Once to Cincinnati, the Adam Duvall deal.
Took a little hiatus from Atlanta. Then they like I said, they liked him so much they brought him back. So he brings some value, brings a left-handed bat off the bench. Ex-Florida Gator, that never hurts, Don.
I knew you were going somewhere with that. I just didn't know where it would end up. '25th pitch of relief here for Jeffrey Rodriguez. He's retired the first 5 and misses for ball 3, not by a lot. 3-1.
Preston Tucker came up with the Astros. His brother also plays for the Astros now, a huge prospect for the Astros. And we did a game earlier with AJ Hinch, and he would joke with him that, hey, one day your brother's going to replace you here. And AJ Hinch said this year he's like, last year it almost happened. We wanted to call up Kyle, his brother, and we almost had to send Preston out for his brother. He's like, thank goodness it didn't happen, because how do you call a guy in and say, hey, we're letting you go because your brother's coming up? It's got to be a great moment for Preston and his brother's coming up, but a little devastating that he's taking your spot.
That was kind of a Jeff Weaver thing, I think, at one point. Payoff pitch. And that's ball 4 with 2 down. So the pinch hitter Tucker takes a walk with 2 away. Well, Ronald Acuna Jr. coming up, and it has been some kind of debut for him, making his major league debut April the 25th. 8 leadoff home runs, franchise single season record for him. Of course, the youngest player to ever hit home run in 5 straight games. How about the second half of the season? Leads Major League leadoff hitters in average RBIs and in OPS. Here he is with 2 down, a runner at first on a day in which he's gone 1 for 2. Takes ball 1.
I saw Acuna in the cages. He was about 17 years old a couple years ago, 16 spring training. And I was there to watch a kid named Austin Riley, who's a super high prospect with the Braves, and those two were hitting in the same cage. It was raining outside. We were there at the big leagues, and he was in minor league camp. And everyone was talking about this Riley kid, and I saw Acuna take swings. And I remember looking at Kevin Seitzer, our hitting coach, and saying, I want that kid. Who's that kid? Is he any good? And they all were like, oh yeah, he's going to be special. And I'm like, well, we're watching this kid, and he's really good. And his kid's better. He's going to be better than this Riley kid. And everyone in the organization was like, absolutely, this kid's going to be a superstar. So far, a lot of people were right.
Batting here with 2 down, runner at first base. Moved into that leadoff spot, first game after the All-Star break. That's where he has been since. It's been a great move for him as he takes ball 3 in 97, 3-1. Called up on the 25th of April from AAA Gwinnett, where he started the season. On the ground to shortstop. Trey Turner will go to second base for the force out that concludes the 5th inning. Played 5 with the Nationals on top 2-1. Value in national prepaid wireless, easy to switch, easy to save. And by USAA Insurance, banking and investments tailored for the military community. Retired numbers for the Atlanta Braves back here at SunTrust Park. John Smoltz, our own.
The golfer John Smoltz or the baseball player John Smoltz?
Both should be Hall of Famers, right? It's on to the 6th inning and a grounder to second base. Ozzie Albies throws out Wilmer Defoe. One down here in the 6th inning. Touki Toussaint into the game here. He had made 3 starts. His last one at September 19th at Arizona, in which he went 5 2/3, but starts against Boston and Miami. This is his first relief appearance coming out of the pen here today with the Braves trailing by a run, and here he is in the 6th inning. Spencer Keyboom was grounded out to third and walked. Third plate appearance of the day for the Nationals catcher. His first outing was a win. That was against Miami. A win last time out against Arizona. Did lose in Boston 8-2.
Everybody loses in Boston, Don.
The way it's going this year.
That's nothing to hang your head about if you lose to the Red Sox this year.
101 victories for the Red Sox heading into today's play.
Woo! So as hot as the Red Sox have been the entire year, 101-47. The Seattle Mariners in 2001 won 116 games, only lost 46 games.
That's unbelievable.
It was amazing. And they didn't get anything to show for it. Except bounced out of the playoffs by the Yankees.
Now Toussaint becomes the 4th pitcher used today by Brian Snitker. Has 1 out in the 6th inning. Now into the backstop and the brick. That is ball 4, and down to first base goes Keyboom. That's a total of 8 walks now in the game allowed by Braves pitching. We're talking about all the guys that are here, preseason prospect ranks, pitching additions this season for Atlanta. Toussaint, who's in the game right now, just saw Sobotka leave the game. But here are the rest, and a pretty good list of guys coming up in here.
Development from the Braves. 8 guys making their major league debut. I've seen Fried pitch the game this year.
It's a bunt bid by the pitcher Rodriguez, and the sacrifice complete. 2-4 on the play at first base. Gets Keyboom into scoring position with 2 down.
We saw Fried beat St. Louis earlier in the year. In St. Louis, looked amazing. Kyle Wright, they're very high on. Soraka, very high. Tukey obviously has gotten some starts. I remember when I was with the Braves and they traded for Tukey. Everyone's like, man, we got this kid. High first-round pick for basically nothing. Here he is pitching from Arizona. The other guys on the list have all done and have all contributed to the Braves' hopeful playoff run here. So great job by the Braves development, scouting, all of the above. To have this many prospects deep through the organization is what you need. You need depth in today's game.
2 down.
I know they rank your Padres as the #1 farm system in baseball, but it's hard to look past the Atlanta Braves with what they've done this year.
Adam Eaton will take a ball outside. Having them arrive here at the major league level, seeing what they can do, I mean, that is certainly also part of September. We were talking earlier about the rosters expanding. Trying to see what you got for the future, but also rewarding some guys for good years in the minor leagues. Some of those guys getting the chance to be elevated for the first time, like you were.
Well, that's what it used to be, was a reward. Hey, you had a great year in the minor leagues. Guess what? You get 30 days in the big leagues.
Down the line at first and headed to the right field corner by the dive of Freeman. Keyboom coming around to score from second. Into second with an RBI double with 2 down goes Adam Eaton, and the Nationals add on to their lead 3-1. A big 2-out RBI double for Eaton. Second RBI of the day.
And another walk that scores for the Nationals. Ball up, off speed, looked like a split or change. Gets it by Freddie Freeman at first base down the right field corner for Eaton. RBI double with 2 outs, but another walk, 8 walks. Another one that scores for him. All 3 runs have come off walks.
Brings up Trey Turner. Trying to add on now with a 2-run advantage for the Nationals. Here in their half of the 6th inning. Some rather ominous looking clouds have made their way over
Don't you say it, Don.
the left field side.
Don't you say it.
Been very warm here and humid the last 2 days.
They're going to pass right on by us. Now the camera crew has to show it just to really put the jinx on top of us. Thanks a lot, guys.
That'll drop in for strike 2.
Good pitch. Good breaking ball right there. Splitter. Almost a tumble action. Full Trey Turner. One thing Tukey's been working on, he's known as the first breaking ball, which is that right there, the 78 that Suzuki does another amazing job of stopping, no advancement, but working on a changeup. He kind of was a 2-pitch pitcher. He started pitching later in life and didn't have the full development and became a first-round pick by just the arm strength alone and had fastball, curveball, but working on a split. And Eaton hit a split, and now he's throwing it to Trey Turner, so he's starting to get trust in it.
That is ball 4, and down to first base goes Turner. That's the second walk given up by Toussaint. That is now 9 walks allowed by the Braves.
You don't win a lot of games walking 9 people. The Braves are behind 3-1, and Tukey Toussaint's in it now with Bryce Harper, nowhere to put him.
Harper has walked twice and struck out swinging. Chuck Hernandez, the pitching coach, looking on. Amazing that the Nationals only have 3 runs with all these free passes today.
Well, they only have 4 hits. They've left a ton of guys. They've already left 7 guys on base through 5 2/3 innings, and Harper doesn't come through right here. That's 9 on base in 6 innings. It's tough to do, win a game, but with all the walks, they're still ahead because their pitching is held together. And this is a pitch around right here. It looks like there's no base. There's a base open. It's not first, but it's third. And it doesn't look like Tukey wants a whole lot to do with Bryce Harper right here either. If he throws Bryce Harper a fastball right here, Bryce Harper's helmet might go flying in the stands. He's going to swing so hard trying to hit it out of the park.
Fouls it off, gets a piece of Suzuki.
And a 2-0 changeup.
Well, the stage is set and the lights are on as baseball's next generation chases October's crown. Major League Baseball postseason begins October the 2nd. Go to MLB.com/postseason for the full schedule. Be here before you know it. 2 weeks away. 3-1 here. Nationals have the lead over the Braves. With 2 on, a run in for the Nationals, and Bryce Harper fouling off pitch off Kurt Suzuki.
So is that a mound visit?
I believe so. Watching Manny Gonzalez write it down.
Oh yeah, he just signaled.
Yeah.
He gave the signal, number 2. Even though Kurt Suzuki got hit by a foul ball, you think they'd give him some leeway there and be like, hey man, you're a catcher, take a breather. But Manny Gonzalez being a stickler for the rules.
2 on, 2 down, a run in. Ball 3.
And again, Tukey Toussaint throws him a fastball right here. Bryce Harper's going to come out of his shoes. Hitters want to hit. They don't want to walk. And he's already walked twice today, and he wants to do damage.
He is going to walk again for the 3rd time and make it 10 walks for Braves pitching. Bases loaded again. Chuck Hernandez coming out. And Anthony Rendon will be next here. The bases loaded, 2 down. And with the 10 walks, that ties a season high. That's the 4th time this year the Braves have walked 10 in a game.
I'm going to go with a bold prediction here and say they pass their season high in the rest of this game.
Considering we're only in the top of the 6th inning, I'd say there's a really good chance. Ryan Snitker not enjoying it.
But they're only down 2 runs. It could be a lot worse. Get Rendon out right here. They're only down 2 runs. They're a bloop and a blast away from being tied. So you can look at it as a great job by Atlanta pitchers bearing down, or a really bad job by Nats hitters getting that big hit to break this game open.
Rendon singled to right field in the 1st, struck out in the 3rd, before flying out to center in the 5th. I feel pretty much straight away on Rendon here in the bases loaded situation. More action in the pen. Jackson up now, right-hander. Line down the left field line. This ball is going to be trouble. One hops up into the seats. It'll be a double, and 2 runs will score here as the Nationals finally get a hit with men on base and take a 5-1 lead. One hopped into the bullpen for Anthony Rendon. Picks up RBI 72 and 73. The Nationals have a 5-1 lead.
Great job by Rendon. Someone finally gets the big hit for the Nationals. Fastball that just leaks back over the plate. Rendon doesn't miss it and breaks this game open a little bit for the Nationals. 5-1. And guess what, Don? There it is, another walk, number 11.
Number 11, the intentional walk of the no-throw kind.
My prediction finally came true.
Soto takes first on the walk. That's 11. Now Mark Reynolds with the bases reloaded. And he'll send one to center field. Enciarte coming in. He will get there to make the catch. Middle of the cap high to end the inning. But it is a big inning for the Nationals. They scored 3 times, take a 5-1 lead. Season against the Mets and Marlins. Come out to Nationals Park to see Harper, Rendon, and Turner. Get your tickets now at nationals.com. Well, the Nationals with 3 in the 6th inning have taken a 5-1 lead to the bottom of the 6th inning. 2, 3, and 4 expected here for Atlanta. Albies, Freeman, and Markakis. As Rodriguez returns to the hill. Albies today 0 for 2. He is fly to right and grounded out to second base. Drops in a breaking ball, and it's 1-1. Nationals finally coming up with a big hit after all the walks in this game. Total of 11 walks allowed by Braves pitching. Finally really able to take advantage of some of those walks last inning. Just joining us, Jeremy Hellickson lasted 3 innings and hurt himself on a swing. Re-injuring, it appeared, the wrist that had him on the DL before. Left the game, and Jeffrey Rodriguez has been back in this game now. This is his 3rd inning of relief. Guy has been starting games, so certainly stretched out. May go a while here today.
He's done a nice job since he's come in.
This was the swing we were talking about on the foul ball, and that's where he appeared to re-injure it. Ended up walking off to the dugout with 2 strikes on him.
Guy coming back off injury, you never want to see, especially a pitcher, get hurt hitting. Anyone get injured, but a pitcher hitting just stinks.
Left field, and Soto in a few steps for the first out here at the bottom of the 6th inning. Are you a DH guy, or what do you think?
No, I like the pitcher hitting.
You do? I do too.
One, it's great if you're an American League team, you go to the National League and your pitchers have to hit because they're hilarious. They realize how hard it is to hit. And 2, speeds up the game. And you know how much I am for speeding up the game, Don.
I love that about you. Always have.
I mean, 11 walks from the Braves doesn't speed up a game at all.
No. One out here in the 6th inning. Freddie Freeman, the batter. There's a drive to center field, sending Harper back. He'll have room. Shy of the warning track. 4 out, number 2. Let's check in with JP.
Don, right now in the Braves dugout, we have Anibal Sanchez sitting beside Ronald Acuna Jr. Now, Anibal Sanchez for Los Navegantes de Magallanes in the Venezuelan Winter League actually played alongside Ronald's father, Ronald Acuna Sr. And earlier this year, Ronald Sr. told Anibal, hey, if you see my son needing some guidance, certainly let him know. But in fact, as Anibal told me today, he's never really had to correct him. He said Ronald Acuna Jr. has been one of the most receptive young players to positive feedback that he's seen in his entire major league career.
What's he going to say to him? Keep hitting homers, kid? Keep being the rookie of the year? What is there to say?
Well, very good point. And actually, one last note on Ronald Sr. How about this? Back in 2004, he played for the Binghamton Mets of the Eastern League with a young David Wright.
Wow.
2004?
2004.
It just puts it in perspective. Ronald Acuna Jr. is in the major leagues in 15 years, less than 15 years ago. His dad was in Double-A.
Two down here in the 6th inning. And Nick Markakis bats with a count of 1-1.
And David Wright's going to get a proper send-off by the Mets, start a game against these Atlanta Braves the last Saturday of the season, and good for him. Great career, great Met, kind of Mr. Met the last 15 years, and deserves a send-off. And I'll give the Braves credit. When I played my last year in 16 here, they came to me and said, hey, look, you're going to start this game. It's going to be your last game with the Braves. We're going to let you start. We're giving you a heads up. They gave me about a 5-day heads up. Got to get my family all to come in. Everyone came in, and I knew it was my last game. And it was just a great thing that the Braves did for me and my family. And so for that, I'll forever be grateful to the Braves organization. Nobody else knew. My teammates knew, and I knew. And some of the Mets guys knew Kelly Johnson was with the Braves, kind of got word out. But none of the media knew everything, and it was great. It was a great way to end my career.
It was very nice of them to do.
Now, at the time, I was mad when they first told me.
Right,
It kind of caught off guard. There was like a week left in the season. I'm like, can't we just finish the week out? But looking back on it, it was cool. And they asked me, we could do like a ceremony, we can announce it. And I'm like, no, I was never a top prospect coming up, so no one cared when I came up. So I'm not going to tell anybody I'm leaving. It just fade off into the sunset. But just a great moment, and I'm thankful for the Braves.
Fly ball headed to left field. Soto coming in a few steps. It's a 1-2-3 6th inning for Jeffrey Rodriguez, who's pitching very well to the 7th with the Nats on top 5-1. His 33rd appearance, 1-1 with a 4.42 earned run average, 43 Ks and 19 walks. The 43 Ks coming in 36 2/3 innings for the right-hander. Takes over here in the 7th inning. Wilmer Defoe leading it off here now in the 7th. So for 2 of the walks, struck out and grounded out. Now field about straight away here on the Nationals' second baseman. So you retire, you've already done a little bit of television work. Well, more than a little bit, as it turns out. I mean, did you know that you were going to get into this full time quickly as you did?
I didn't know that, but I know that I had a good relationship with Fox, and having done the postseason stuff, I'd done a series, and we had some preliminary conversations about it, but didn't know if I wanted to jump into it full time. And once I did, man, it's been fun. It's great to come around still. I'm around the baseball. That's all I know. I signed when I was 17 out of high school. Played for almost over 20 years of professional baseball, and jumping right in. I don't know anything else. People probably ask you, Don, what would you be doing if you weren't a broadcaster? And you don't know.
I got nothing. I got no skills.
Me neither. I have no skills either.
I'm a one-trick pony.
A lot of people would say I have no skills as a broadcaster.
I'm not even good at this. I remember the first time I met you, it was on the charter.
Oh boy.
With the Red Sox, and one of the first things you said to me was, how many Emmys do you have?
That's right, I have one.
And I said 0. And you said, I already got one.
That's right.
Oh. Like, wow.
I'm still waiting on that to be mailed to me, by the way.
You don't have it?
No, they won't give it to me.
That is ball 4. Amazingly, down to first goes Defoe.
Why wouldn't there be another walk in this game by the Braves?
Unbelievable. That's 12. Well, September 2nd, as a guest in the booth with Hawk Harrelson this year, caught a foul ball with his bare hands. Still got it.
Yeah, that was a great moment. Hawk Day in Chicago, who I grew up with his children, a special friend of mine, Hawk Harrelson in Chicago, and never had a ball come even close to the booth. And to have it happen in that game, people always say, man, you know, I was a bad human being, but I can always say I saved one life, and it was Hawk Harrelson.
That's right.
Because he says he was going to catch it. No chance. No chance he was catching that ball.
Well, Hawk had given his emotional speech on the field prior to that game.
There was a lot of tears that day. And next Sunday, he asked me to come do his last game with him. It's going to be very emotional. He's been in the booth for almost 50 years, over 40 years. And Sunday is going to be his last official game that he knows he's going to do ever again. It's got to be tough.
It's going to be a very emotional day, and you're going to be a big part of it.
And how is he, personal soapbox for a second, how is he not in the Hall of Fame?
That's a great question. I don't know. He should be.
You do almost 50 years. He's been everything in game, player, GM, broadcaster, and so many of his catchphrases are famous. He gone, put it on the board, all the stuff he does, and you hear him just walking down the street and
batting gloves.
Yeah, I still don't think he was the first one, but I'll give him credit for it.
Throw over to first base, and back is Defoe.
But he should be in the Hall of Fame. I know it's not true Hall of Fame, the Frick Award as an announcer, but he should be honored with that award because of his contributions on and off the field.
Couldn't agree with you more.
All right, back to the game now.
Spencer Keyboom. Keyboom has walked twice today, but he's not alone in that category. Runner goes. A pitch is a strike. Throw down is not going to be in time. Picked by Albies down there, but a stolen base for Defoe, his second of the day. So that's been running today. In the scoring position with nobody out here in the 7th. Luke Jackson, facing his second hitter since coming from the pen, becomes the 5th arm used today by Brian Snitker. Grounder right side. Albies drifting. Stride on the outfield grass makes a nice rangy play to retire Keyboom as gets a job done and moving the runner over. Defoe gets to third with one down.
Productive out by Keyboom right there. I know the pitcher's on deck, but now that opens up so many opportunities. A bunt, a squeeze, a safety squeeze. Puts pressure on Atlanta, and 2 strikes, just punch the ball to right field and have the opportunity to take it out of slam range for the Braves.
Jeffrey Rodriguez with his second plate appearance of the day. Dropped down a sacrifice bunt in the 6th inning. Now swinging away, grounds one back up the middle with the infield in, and from third comes Defoe. So Rodriguez drives in another run. It's now 6-1 Nationals. Big hit from their pitcher. Apparently he was not always a pitcher, right, JP?
That's right, Don. Jeffrey Rodriguez actually was a shortstop prior to signing with the Nationals at the age of 18. Johnny DePuglia does a great job running the Nationals International program, and he was discovered there again as a late teenage, which is later to sign for a Dominican player as an infielder up until he signed with the Nationals.
He doesn't really have the body of an infielder. He looks like a pitcher.
Well, just driving in a run there, put the Nationals on top 6-1.
And imagine that, another walk scores. Leadoff walk.
12 walks on the day. Staggering number of walks allowed by Braves pitching. Leadoff walk in the 7th. Now grounded to short. Swanson will get a second for one onto first. Eaton will be safe. Looking at the front end on the force out 6-4, but Eaton with too much speed reaches at first base. But now 2 down.
This is why he was a shortstop. Watch him know how to get out of the way. Nope, I'm not sliding.
Nope. Sliding, he's nowhere near. Stage right. Well, did a good job driving in the run there. 2 down, runner at first. Trey Turner coming up.
And Keebum should get half an RBI or a quarter of an RBI because of his at bat, getting him to third, bringing the infield in. Because if infield's back, that's a ground ball to short. But instead, base it up the middle for Rodriguez and an RBI.
Yeah, that kind of gets lost, overshadowed in the whole thing. Trey Turner today has been aboard twice, a single and a walk. Strike one, 94, and he gets credit for the call there. Just grabbing that inside corner. Trey Turner batting with 2 down, and Adam Eaton at first base. Nationals have added on here in the top half of the 7th inning. Jackson in the midst of a meeting with himself in behind the hill.
What's he saying to himself?
I couldn't tell you. I just know he was in a meeting. Now he's back. Runner goes at first, and that'll be in there for a strike, no throw, and another stolen base.
The stolen bases. Walks and stolen bases. Poor Kurt Suzuki back there. Luckily, he got Trey Turner on a call reviewed off the base, but there could be another stolen base on him.
Swing and a miss, and Turner strikes out to end the inning. But the Nationals add on with another run at 7th inning stretch, and it's 6-1 Nats. And by Verizon. Now go mix and match family unlimited plans. Outside SunTrust Park, year 2 of its existence. Back in Atlanta, Braves with work to do, with the Nationals on top in this game now 6-1. And back on the hill is Jeffrey Rodriguez, and why not? He hasn't allowed a hit in 3 innings since coming into this game. Came in the 4th, and here he is in the 7th, dealing with Suzuki, Inciarte, and Culberson. Suzuki singled back in the 2nd inning, 1 for 2 today. Flight out to right in the 4th inning, and has been banged up all day with several foul tips heading in his direction today, catching.
And several 42-footers from the Braves pitching staff today. Nothing's more frustrating as a catcher than you look up there and you see walks 12. And as he chops one off his ankle.
Just to add to the misery. Had the guard on, but that's not going to help.
Can't guard every spot on your body, and look like you got the instep of the foot. Quickly up though, you know why, Don? He's a catcher.
Toughest guys on the field.
Always.
Or so I'm told. Off the outside edge, 2-2. Oh, I know I wanted to ask you. I don't want to get away before I have a chance to ask you. Grand slam allowed by Tehran to Bryce Harper. Did you make that call on that pitch, or did Tehran?
Well,
as to what we were going to throw. That is strike 3. Hold that thought. Let's go to Mike Hill in the studio for a game break.
Perfect timing.
All right, Mike, thanks very much. Back here in Atlanta with 1 down in the 7th inning. And Ender Inciarte coming up, waiting for the answer from AJ Pierzynski on who called the pitch that Bryce Harper hit out for a grand slam.
I was hoping you forgot about that during that great game break by Mike Hill. I think that he wanted to throw it. It was supposed to be a fastball away, and it snuck back over the plate. Unfortunately for us, Bryce Harper deposited for a 4-run homer. Trotted around the bases, got a curtain call, I believe, standing ovation, the whole deal, which he deserved. But I'm going to take full responsibility for that one.
Okay, so if I got this right, you called the pitch, but it wasn't executed correctly.
No, well, I can't throw it. I tried to catch it before Bryce hit it. Watch, it's a great looking catcher though. Look.
Oh, it would have been such a good catch, but it's not coming back.
Good bat flip by Bryce, the whole deal. Off the good humor sign. I think you got some free ice cream for that. Oh, you guys love bad memories for me.
I just was curious. It just hit me, and I you know, you're sitting here and we're talking, so I figured I'd ask.
Yeah, that was in the midst as a 2016. The Braves started out 0-9, and I think that was right in the middle of the 0-9 start we were off to. So it didn't matter what pitch Tyler Flowers or I put down; it wasn't going to end good. Hitting wise, it didn't go well, so it was kind of like throw your hands up and say, oh man, what a bad start.
Bad times.
Ended up to Freddie Gonzalez, the manager at the time, getting fired. Now Brian Snicker took over. Still the manager, probably going to lead him to the playoffs this year. Lifelong Braves guy in AAA. Before the game, we asked him, what was it like when you got the call to be the manager? And he kind of was like, I thought it'd pass me by. Braves called him and he said, yeah, why not? Let's try it. And he's done a great job here kind of revitalizing the Braves and the organization.
He's done a terrific job, and it's great the Braves gave him that opportunity. So many organizational guys like him who never get the chance to manage at the major league level. He has gotten that chance and run with it, and will likely be the division winner here in the National League East. Love that. 1-2 pitch coming up to Inciarte. Grounded back to the mound. Rodriguez at the base of the hill will run a little and flip to first for the second out. So So 2 down in the 7th inning. Rodriguez continues to roll right along.
And I remember when Snit first game was in Pittsburgh when he showed up, and I think we lost the first game he managed and we won the second game, and we came in and everyone was so happy because a lot of the Braves guys played for him in AAA, and he got a beer shower and just the emotion on his face, realizing, hey, I just won a game as a big league manager. After years and years of toiling, he was a third base coach and was hoping to get a shot, never got it, went back to AAA, didn't complain, and now here he is having success and a nice contract and well-deserved for a good man.
As he said, he had given up on the thought of being a major league manager about 10 years ago, which is amazing.
Well, if you toil and no one ever gives you an opportunity, at some point you have to think, I'm never going to get this. But he did it right. He went back to AAA, didn't complain, and the Braves rewarded him.
JP, it's a great story, isn't it?
He really is. And Donnie told us earlier today that he was initially living, I believe, in the basement of his daughter's house at the time he took the job to have that be the short-term solution. And obviously now the question becomes, Don, will he be the long-term solution here in Atlanta as well? Signs point to yes, but at the moment, Brian Snitker still does not have a contract for 2019. That is in contrast to Mike Schilt, a very similar story in St. Louis. He has already been given a multi-year contract extension as the Cardinals' permanent manager.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how that works, and certainly getting to the postseason is not going to hurt his chances in returning. Here's a check swing grounder down to first. Reynolds will tag the bag himself, and Rodriguez through another relatively quick and easy inning. We're headed for the 8th of the Nationals on top 6-1. The Nationals have the lead. It's been all about the walks and the stolen bases in this game. Well, the walks allowed by Braves pitching, season high 12 walks, 6 of 9 in the lineup have walked. And the stolen bases, well, the Nationals have 6 of them. That's a season high. Jeffrey Rodriguez has shut down the Braves in 4 innings. Also knocked in a run himself, which has been a very impressive day for him. 4 innings, no hits, and it's a 6-1 Nats lead. An entirely new battery into this game. Kurt Suzuki had been banged up a lot of the day and just fouled a pitch off his foot. He ends up leaving this game, and Rene Rivera checks in now for the Braves in behind the dish to catch a new pitcher, Max Fried.
Max Fried, another one of the young guns that we showed the graphic earlier on the Braves, and Kid looks like he's about 12 years old, but known for his curveball. Really good breaking ball, really good curveball, and first pitch up and into Bryce Harper showing him I ain't afraid.
Of the 12 walks handed out by Braves pitching today, 3 of them for Bryce Harper. Taken all the way as he's backing out of the box, only to take strike 1. Leads it off here in the 8th inning. His team on top by 5. Free jumps ahead 1-2. Takes over for Luke Jackson to win an inning, giving up a run. Tehran right now on the hook, the starter today for the Atlanta Braves, who went 4 innings, struck out 7 but walked 6. Swing and a miss, and Harper strikes out. Fried looked pretty good there in that sequence. 1 down.
There's the curveball Max Fried is known for. Just a filthy curveball. Bottom just falls straight out of it. Harper, after seeing fastballs 1 up and in and then 2 good ones from him, has no chance.
1 down in the 8th for Anthony Rendon. 2 hits today, single to right in the first, doubled in the 6th inning. He's driven in 2 runs. Just shy of the 300 average with 299 coming up for this plate appearance in the 8th. 36,050 here today. 36,050 for the middle game of 3-game series between these 2 National League East foes. On a hot day in Atlanta. Falling off to the third base side and nearly falling.
And Fried rearing back and letting it go at 98. That's probably why he fell over. Throw it that hard, he deserved to fall over.
Very close pitch, but called the ball to even the count at 2-2. Drops the breaking ball in there and misses. So it goes from 98 to 74 and missed. Full count.
It's a good difference. You can do 98 to 74. That's tough for a hitter.
Straightens him up and guess what? Walks him. 13th walk allowed today by Braves pitching.
Little difference in Max Fried's windup here, different pitches. Right on line, stays pretty good. Not completely offline. And then the last pitch here to Rendon, just a complete misfire with much more violent action, and a difference in motion leads to ball 4.
1 out, 1 on, and it brings up Juan Soto for the 5th time today. He's walked 3 times and singled.
One of those pitches was 75, 76 miles an hour curveball, and he was much more under control. He reared back 3-2, tried to get a little extra, fell off, and mid to upper 90s. So motions do matter.
Do you have time to pick it up as a hitter?
No, I didn't. I wasn't that good, but some guys are good enough to see slowing down, things like that, but I was never that good.
No 1 to Soto. Fights it off foul, and it's 0-2. Took a little off the gas. 95.
Yeah, just 98, 95. No big deal. But the first pitch curveball, again, much more under control, much more fluid motion. As soon as he goes fastball, boom, he kind of falls over a little bit more towards the third base side, trying to get a little extra on the ball. Rene Rivera on a Football Saturday is trying to figure out if they're running the 2 deep or the 46 zone.
This one grounded foul. You've been retired since 16, right?
Yeah.
Did you have that on your arm? Never.
I just remember in 16, David Ross was catching for the Cubs. Jeff Francoeur, we were in there playing Wrigley, and he was one of the first guys to wear the wristband. And he looked at it in Frenchie's at bat, and Francoeur looks at him and goes, "What are you guys doing, man-to-man or zone this play? What's the play call?" David Ross kind of got mad at him. But
really?
It was kind of when it just hit, and no one had done it. Now, heck, every catcher wears one. Guys pull cards out of their back pocket to look to play deep. Pitcher had one the other day and got in trouble by Joe West.
This is softly grounded to second base. Albies will flip to second. They get the force out there. Some fancy footwork by Swanson on the 4-6 force out. 2 down in the inning. For those of you tuning in for the Houston at Texas Tech game, the game is available on Fox Business Network and streaming on the Fox Sports app. We'll get you out to Lubbock at the immediate conclusion of our game. 2 down, runner at first with the Nationals on top 6-1, and it brings up Mark Reynolds. Reynolds 0 for 4 today. He has fouled out, struck out, and flied out twice.
He's the only guy not having any fun for the Nationals in this game. Everyone else has reached base, hits, walks.
Did make a nice defensive play at first base a couple of innings ago.
Yeah, but that doesn't make up for 0 for 4 right now. They say it does.
To right field, Markakis going back, still going. That'll be off the wall and by Markakis. He's backed up by Enciarte as Soto's going to try and score. There'll be no throw. He will score, and the Nationals take a 7-1 lead. Another 2-out RBI, and this one's a wall ball double to right field for Mark Reynolds.
Now that's a way to make up for the 0 for 4. Double off the right center field wall. Great swing by Mark Reynolds. He's known for his power, usually pull. Markakis just runs out of room, tries to play it off the wall, gets past him. Enciarte backs it up, and Soto scores easily from first base.
Well, it looked like Markakis initially thought he was going to be able to catch that ball.
Just kept carrying.
Well, first pitch strike to Wilmer Defoe.
Now I know that wasn't a walk directly that scored, but it was a walk that scored because Rendon walked, Soto out on a fielder's choice. So I consider that another walk to score. Make up my own scoring rules.
Yeah, I'm with you. That reaches on the fielder's choice. That force out after the walk, so he kind of takes over for that walk at first base. I'm buying what you're selling.
Oh, thank goodness. Juan Soto's had a nice day today. Reached base 5 times. You count the fielder's choice. Scored a couple runs. 3 walks, a single.
Three stolen bases.
3 stolen bases. That's stolen bases.
Just missed away. 1-2 to Wilmer Defoe with 2 down here in the top of the 8th. Lights are on at SunTrust Park. Mostly cloud covered for the bulk of this game today. Line foul. Max Fried in his first inning of relief here for the Braves. 6th pitcher that Brian Snitker has used in this game. Elevated with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Didn't chase. 2-2. Mark Reynolds getting his walking lead off second base. That's added a run here so far in the top of the 8th. Down the right field line, but headed for the seats. Follow the race to the postseason on MLB.tv. For $25.99, watch every out-of-market regular season game. Plus, get a free subscription to MLB At Bat Premium. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this limited time offer. We're in the 8th with the Nationals on top 7-1. 2-2 pitch coming to Defoe. And it's fouled above the Braves dugout.
Good at bat by Defoe. Fell behind 0-2. Fouling pitches off. Worked it even to 2-2. Game's gotten a little out of hand, but you still don't want to give away at bats, especially with runners in scoring position.
Did he go? No. Check with Phil Cuzzy, first base umpire. And the count goes full now, 3-2. The 13 walks allowed today ties a franchise record, but it's the Boston Braves, May 6th of 1938.
Kind of rooting for a walk right here. Nothing against Max Fried, but want to see a record. We've already seen a record set today. Let's try another one.
History in Atlanta. A liner that's caught at shortstop by Dansby Swanson. We got an inning to go. We'll see. Now it's on a run. They have a 7-1 lead. Sponsored by Boost Mobile, and it has been Jeffrey Rodriguez who came on in the 4th inning, and he has dazzled against the Braves since coming into this game. In the 4th, he is not allowed a hit.
It's been outstanding.
Meanwhile, the Nationals
first RBI as a Nat. First 4 solid innings, no hits. It's been amazing. Great day for Jeffrey Rodriguez, and also he was selected to start today. There was an option for him to start instead of Hellickson. They went with Hellickson, who unfortunately got injured, but Jeffrey Rodriguez come in and done an amazing job for him.
Dansby Swanson leads it off against Rodriguez to begin things here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Lines one foul. Swanson today has walked and grounded out. We got the 13 walks allowed today by Braves pitching. On the other side, conversely, the Nationals have walked only 1 through the first 7 innings. Check that, make it 2. Still pretty dramatic.
You look up on the scoreboard, 12 left on base for Washington. It could be a lot worse than 7-1 right now. Because of all the walks, only 7 hit. So it just goes to show you, if you make teams hit the ball, it's a lot harder to score than it is when you give them free base runners on walks.
Well, Rodriguez falling behind here, 2-1. Lucas Duda has come out on deck here for Atlanta. He would bat in the pitcher's spot. Three and one. Inside, and that's ball 4. So walking here is Swanson to begin things in the 8th. Today's telecast is sponsored by the well-connected 2019 MKC and by Applebee's 3-course meal. That's 3 courses for just 1 low price. Well, that's a walk to begin things here in the 8th inning, allowed by Rodriguez. Second one that he has offered up in his 4+ innings. And here is Lucas Duda. 14 home run season, 49 RBIs as he takes ball 1.
And all the good things we just said about Jeffrey Rodriguez. He walks the leadoff guy, and just like that, boom, double barrel action in the Washington Nationals pen.
Strike called, a high strike at that.
Lucas Duda, a nice pickup for the Braves here late in the year. Power bat off the bench, can play first if you need to spell Freddie Freeman here down the stretch. And just a good pickup by Alex Anthopoulos and the Braves.
Just a 194 pinch hitter, and he's pinch hitting here as he takes ball 2.
Yeah, but 194, but he's a threat. That's what you want. You want your pinch hitters to be a threat.
Go to Glover, Matt Grace, both warming up in the pen right now for the Nationals. First action we've seen in a while out there, while Jeffrey Rodriguez has been dealing. Three and one. We shift here on the right side. Does Dave Martinez with the Nationals. Trey Turner, shortstop, over on that right side, joining Defoe and Reynolds. Reynolds holding on, Dansby Swanson. Popped up. Down from first comes Mark Reynolds. It's out number 1. Jeffrey Rodriguez was pointing. I don't know how helpful that is for the first baseman coming down the line. I think he saw it, but still, 1 down.
I think Jeffrey Rodriguez wanted no part of that pop-up. That was a big league pop-up. That was really high, and as a pitcher, get away from it. I know he's a former shortstop, but he wanted no part of that pop-up. Jeffrey, let the real athletes handle it, the position players. Thanks.
1 down, runner at first, top of the order. Ronald Acuna Jr. 1 for 3 today, singled and scored back in the first inning. Fly ball hit pretty well to right center field. On the track to make the catch in front of the wall is Adam Eaton. 2 down. That ball just kind of died out towards right center field. Still took Eaton to the wall, but it's out number 2.
Yeah, just a 374-foot fly ball to the wall, missed by Ronald Acuna Jr. Pretty good swing. barrels it, just gets under it just a bit. He thinks it's got a chance. Looks up and realizes Adam Eaton's going to catch it.
Ozzie Albies 0 for 3 today. Bounces in and gets away. To second goes Swanson. Kicks off Keyboom over by the on deck circle. It's a wild pitch charge to Rodriguez. Braves been held to just a run on 2 hits today. On a quiet day offensively after taking game 1 of this series here last night. Rodriguez falling behind 2-0.
To your point, the Braves haven't had a hit since the 2nd inning. Kurt Suzuki got a leadoff hit in the 2nd inning, and the Nationals, Hellickson and Rodriguez, have completely shut them down since then.
Dansby Swanson at second base, 2 down here in the 8th. Did he go? No. They check with Laz Diaz, third base umpire, and it's 3-0. That is a ball, and that is ball 4. Got away briefly from Keyboom, but a ball called by Manny Gonzalez. Second walk of the inning allowed by Rodriguez, and Braves have another base runner. That's now 3 walks allowed by Rodriguez, and looks like a double switch coming our way. Dave Martinez coming over. Pitching change from Atlanta. 7-1 Nats. Outs in the 8th inning. It's time for the Gatorade proven performance, and some stolen bases as today the Nats are running season high 6 stolen bases today as part of their 7-1 lead. And a double steal earlier as well.
And it should be 7 stolen bases if not for the replay and where Trey Turner actually stole a base and came off after he'd stolen the base.
Now taking over at second is Adrian Sanchez. It's part of the double switch with Wilmer Defoe coming out of the game. Into the game on the mound is Matt Grace. Third arm used today by the Nationals. And a foul off the bat of Freddie Freeman up here with 2 on and 2 down. Numbers for Grace into his 50th game. Freeman lines one to right. Eaton coming in will make the catch on the liner that'll end the 8th inning. We're headed for the 9th with the Nationals on top 7-1. Fourth rivalry, Kirk Cousins and the Vikings head to Lambeau to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Only on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Check local listings for the game in your area. Herodes Vizcaíno is back, reinstated from the 10-day DL after missing a total of 55 games with right shoulder inflammation. He had missed 8 games earlier in the season with the same ailment, but into the game here in the 9th inning.
Closer for the last couple years for the Braves. Started this year as their closer again. Has closer stuff, fastball slider. Really a 2-pitch guy. Was off to a good start this year, but unfortunately the injuries popped up.
He's going to face a pinch hitter in Victor Robles for Keyboom. Catcher had been 0 for 2 with a couple of walks today. Guess they're going to see what they can get from him and where he's going to work here down the stretch.
Well, interesting options. We talked to Brian Snicker. Hey, is there anything you're looking forward to these last couple weeks? And Vizcaíno's first name that popped up. He's a weapon for them if he's right. Will they use him as a closer? I don't think so. Can he be a 6th, 7th, 8th inning guy? If he shows enough here, absolutely. This guy has power arm, power slider, former closer, started the year as a closer, can close games, knows the situations. But once again, the key for Vizcaíno, throw it over the plate.
Just falling behind here 2-0 to the pinch hitter. There's a foul tip. 2-1. There's 99 for you too.
With some flames.
There were flames.
That's right. 99. A little pumped up coming back. This guy's got all the weapons to be a absolute beast coming out of the bullpen.
Rain falling here all of a sudden in Atlanta. That's a strike. And it's a full count down. Threatening skies for a lot of the day, but precipitation free until now. Strike 3 call, and he strikes out Robles for the first out of the ninth. Let's go to Mike Hill in the studio for a game break. All right, thanks very much, Mike. Back here in Atlanta with one down in the ninth inning. Adrian Sanchez, part of a double switch, came in defensively last inning. That's for the first time. 229, no homers. 3 runs batted in for Sanchez. With one down in the ninth inning. So he goes from 99 to 86.
He's got all the weapons. All the weapons to be a big league closer. Pitch. That's why Brian Snitker's so high on him and hoping that he can get back healthy. They can prove he's healthy. And he can pitch in these situations in the postseason.
Interesting if they could use him in kind of an Andrew Miller type spot.
I don't know that he can give you more than 1 inning. But I think if you need a big out in the 6th, maybe it's a possibility. Tough right-handed hitter. Come in, throw 99 and throw 3 sliders and sit someone down on a strikeout in a big situation. But one thing for these Braves, if they get into the postseason, a lot of these guys have never been there. So that's going to be the interesting thing is how will a Mike Foltynewicz, if he starts game 1 or game 2, whatever it is, these guys have never pitched in the postseason. It's a different animal every pitch. These young kids, Acuna and Albies and all these guys that have never been there, it's a different animal, and it's tough to, you can't simulate it no matter what you do.
This one chopped back to the mound. Good lunging play by Vizcaíno for out number 2. Sent it down to JP.
Yes, Don. Recently, the Nationals put out a great tweet in support of one of their own about Nats players hosting an auction to benefit Assistant General Manager and Vice President of Player Personnel Doug Harris as he battles leukemia. The winning bidders from this online auction can pick up the items from the players themselves on September the 24th. The website nationals.com/beatcancer. Don, one of the items there, signed cleats and bat by Juan Soto himself. Bob Miller's 2001 World Series championship ring. Some amazing items there, really out of respect to Doug Harris, one of the great people in the game. I spoke with Doug this week, Don. He said a couple things. Number one, he's doing very well. He said on his light day, he can still do 250 push-ups, which is amazing, and he's still in his job and working every day. He also wants people to know as well that this is an opportunity, he sees it, for him to help others. So he thanks the staff at Memorial Sloan Kettering in New York, Dr. Jay Park, and really encourages fans in the baseball community to consider donating there as well.
All right, thanks very much, JP, and our best with him.
Anything you can do to help cancer and cancer research, I'm all for it. And the players, the Nationals organization, to step up and do that is pretty darn cool. Players that never have a problem when someone comes to them and says, hey, we want you to donate a autograph, something for a cause like that, right away, yes.
It falls behind here 3-0 with 2 down.
As it starts raining harder. Thanks, Don.
It had stopped there for a moment, but it has picked up again. Poncho is not an easy thing to put on.
Not for that guy.
That's ball 4. Another walk allowed here by Braves pitching. Well, got a new record. That's 14.
You come to the ballpark, you never know what you're going to see. You never want to see 14 walks, but might as well see it while we're here.
History has been made in Atlanta today. Franchise record. The previous record was actually done by the Boston Braves. 13 back May 6th of 1938.
So it took him 81 years to break that record. 80 years.
And today we saw it firsthand. Trey Turner takes a strike. Ball and a strike to Turner. 2 down in the 9th inning. Last of the 9th. Braves will be trailing by at least 6. Ducking down into the dugout for cover right now with a pretty good rain shower. There's a fly ball to center. Inciarte through the raindrops out there. Makes the catch. It ends the top of the 9th inning. To the bottom of the 9th we go. 7-1 Nationals. (7-1) Nationals have the lead as we play on to the bottom of the 9th inning. Nick Markakis leading it off against Grace as Robles stays in the game. He takes over in center field. Moving from center to right is Bryce Harper. As we start the bottom of the 9th inning. The catcher is Pedro Severino. And he receives ball 1, 1-1. Matt Grace back out there. Markakis today 0 for 3 has flied out 3 times to the left fielder Juan Soto. Fly ball to center field. Robles moving back towards the track, leaps and makes the catch against the wall. Wow, out to right center field, and Robles just into the game makes a leaping catch at the fence.
The ball will find you. Inserted in the game, it always seems like they hit it to you. Robles, nice play. Dave Martinez said what? Michael Taylor, the best center fielder he's ever seen. Victor Robles with a nice play saying, Dave, take that.
Rene Rivera now batting with 1 down. It's a fly ball left side that has Rendon standing in foul ground battling the raindrops to make the catch. 2 down in the 9th inning. It's time now for the dynamic play of the game presented by Hankook Tire. And the play at first base by Mark Reynolds, a diving play in the 5th inning. Rob Dansby Swanson, what a great play down there at first for Reynolds. 2 down in the 9th inning. Ender Inciarte coming up here as Grace tries to finish it off for the Nats. In there for strike 1. Ball and a strike. To center field. Robles will go back now to make the catch that ends the ball game. So the Nationals win this one 7-1 in Atlanta. Coming up next, we'll send it to Lubbock for coverage of Houston at Texas Tech right after these messages.